dressed in a Juakali way, stands to benefit significantly from this initiative. By engaging local artisans and contractors, we are ensuring that these housing projects also empower our community by providing employment opportunities and supporting local craftsmen. For the contractors, I implore on you to use the available resources from our residents. Windows, doors, grills are part of the material in need for this venture, and I know the chairman has really made use of it. I was there the other day and I saw there is a lot of life. Even metals make noise and they become windows and they become doors and all that. I want to give a special recognition to Eldoret Juakali Association that has so far produced windows and doors for the affordable housing units in Kidiwa. That is to say, I'm very sure your association is part of all the welders within this city. It's not only you and some section, so that if you are in welding technology, right now you have a home in Juakali Juakali team, and I'm very sure that you are earning something per day. Is it per day or per month? Not even per day, per hour, per minute, and per product that you produce. If there are rich people here today and are dressed in Juakali uniform, these are the people, and they will not tell you that. And you realize that our sister Wanja says they ate all my food and they didn't pay. Now that you are the rich person, the real person who employs them, so ukate pesa yako hapo na unyamaze. Kwa sababu sasa wewe ni mwenyewe. So our recent elevation to city status has opened doors for increased investment and accelerated urbanization, which has further highlighted the demand for housing. With this growth comes our responsibility to provide infrastructure, housing, and social amenities to ensure a balanced and sustainable urban environment. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we recognize the need to create an enabling environment for housing developers, and as such, we are working towards streamlining the regulatory processes. Our goal is to reduce delays, minimize bureaucracy, and ensure that the permit and approval processes for housing projects are smooth and transparent. As an administration, we are working closely with our fiscal planners to ensure that compliance is achieved through development control. Any upcoming infrastructure development in our city must align with the city regeneration plan to prevent collapse. Long-term vision for sustainable and urban development has it that we want to move forward with these housing initiatives, and we are also planning for the long-term housing. Our focus is not only on building homes, but also one creating a smart city with modern infrastructure, efficient transport systems, and green spaces that enhance the quality of life for all residents. Our vision is one of inclusivity, where every citizen has access to affordable housing, safe public spaces, and a clean environment. Together, through collaboration and dedication, we are committed to providing safe, affordable, and sustainable housing. This will not only fulfill the needs for our growing population, but also support economic development of creating jobs and ensure that we build a future where everyone has a place to call a home. Ladies and gentlemen, let us continue working together to make this vision a reality, creating a smart, inclusive, and sustainable city for all of us. Let me say, this is a beautiful thing that is happening in our county at the moment, that of all the programs on our affordable housing, we are part of the success story. You go to Pioneer, the 2,200 units that are coming up. You go to Kidiwa, that one is within our city, 2,020 units. I was there the other day, I could not believe. things have changed. And I know Kidiwa again, they are soon coming. They will flatten so many other buildings. They want to come up with others. And the president the other day was telling me on about the railway city infrastructure that is coming up. We will need around 5,000 to 10,000 units. The real thing is you must own a house in this city. And it is possible. It is possible. I want to agree with the philosophy of Wanja that even before you finish this thing, you have started putting in something to own a house there. And you pay slowly. If per day you are getting 600 per day or 500, if you have some kind of training, you get 1,000. Surely, even if I have no knowledge, if mine is to push stones and to push things, I will go there and get my 500 or my 600. So 600 and tomorrow another 600 times 7 days times 1 month. How many? 30 days. You would have saved something. So let me hope that all of us, at the end of this exercise, you will own a house in this city. Let me tell you, it is not easy to own a house in a city just like that. Katikati ya mji, katikati ya capital city, sasa yuko na nyumba. Na unakaa ni kama hutaki nyumba, sasa unataka ukae wapi? There are people in this city, one county commissioner, they call this city their home. They have no other home. This is their home. They call ELDORET city our home. And you not expect them to think of you tulisaliwa wapi, tulitokea wapi, walizaliwa hapa. So everybody who thinks that this city is their home, please plan to get a house. Ile kidogo inaitwa studio. Niliona hizo nyumba ni kidogo sana, bora umelala na kichwa inaamka asubuhi na unatoka nje. Shida kila mtu akitoka kwa hiyo nyumba, hata wewe ulikuwa ndani. Mwenye wako na 3 bedrooms na wako huko juu na wewe yako moja, studio moja yako chini. Tukitoka nje kwa compound tunafanana. Nani anajua ulilala wapi ndani hapa? So it is time now sisi wenyewe we give ourselves some self-esteem na kusema hata mimi I am an owner or an owner of this house. So wakisema owners of the residents, kujeni hapo nje, hata yuko ndani. Wakisema matajiri wote ya hizi nyumba kutokeni hapa tupange laini, hata yuko ndani. Shida iko wapi? Si nyumba ni nyumba. So kama una own korofa ama una own sijui nini, jitokeleze na useme hata mimi ni mmoja wao. So nataka niseme niwapatie changamoto kwamba hata wale ambao ni wajenzi, tafadhali weka kitu kidogo hapo. Nasikia unalipa miaka ngapi? Miaka 25 ama 30 years. Ni ngapi? 40 years. 10 years. 14 years. Unalipa na 14 years. So 14 years kuongeza miaka yenye uko nayo, uko na ngapi siku hiyo? Si Yesu atarudi kabla hujamaliza, lakini utakuwa umeishi kwa nyumba ndani, si ndio? Ile vitu vingine balance yote Mungu atalipa. Mpaka hapo nataka niseme I'm so grateful. I want to welcome every one of you to Jenga Exhibition that is coming on 3rd to 6th December at Zion Mall. Let me tangaza on your behalf. There is this thing actually is a precursor. It's a build-up program for a major conference that is coming, and I want to thank the Juakali man here. He's always very apt. Last week we were in Juba, and Ayot, or where is the Ayot man? With our exhibitions, Kenya was put number, not even Kenya, was in Gishu. We were put number ngapi? Number 2. It is called East African countries and so many counties, but it was in Gishu, Sisi. They were put number 2. Amuelewi, wangepanga magavana ya kila mtu number 2 nilikuwa na nani? Si ni koti moja. So tunaleta aibu ama tunaleta shangwe? So anataka tukue committed, tutembee na hii kazi, tufanye kazi bila aibu. Tufanye kazi bila kuuliza maswali mingi. Kazi yako ni pesa upate na upate nyumba. Na tunashukuru sana county commissioner na team ya security. ELDORET sasa is a very safe place. Kulikuwa na vijana wanatembea na pikipiki, pickpocket, mara wanakuja wanakupamia hapo kwa mlango. Saa hizi wameshughulikiwa vilivyo. Na tunashukuru sana security team. Mmefanya kazi mzuri sana. Na kama kuna mkora yote mnaona, tafadhali sisi wote tuchunge city yetu. Mimi huwa natembea usiku kuangalia vile watu hata jana usiku nilikuwa wapi? Hii Mwanzo Nikiangalia barabara ya Kisii usiku saa ile nyote melala na kukalia huko yote huko, naangalia everything imetulia vizuri sana. Tunataka Uasin Gishu ikuwa very safe county, especially our city to be the safest city kati ya city zote dunia hii. And you know one thing that attracts people and investors ni cleanliness na safety na security ya city. Na mmeona vile wageni wanakuja kwetu. Mnaona ama muone? Hata nyie muone, mnaona? Si tulikuwa na high commissioner ya India juzi. Alafu kabla ya huyo tulikuwa na nani? Ile mwingine Mac Whitman kutoka USA. Alafu next week ya Australia. Kabla hatujaendelea kule nyuma, watu wanakuja. Ni kwa sababu kuna opportunities hapa Eldoret. Hii city imetuletea maneno, Kwa hivyo usikae hivi, kaa kama mtu wa city. Usikae kienyeji, anytime mgeni anaweza kukuingilia kwako na kusema nimetoka Turkey, any opportunity. Sasa nyinyi mnakaa tu kienyeji kama watu ya street. Sisi ni watu ya city. And then tell your mind I'm in this city. Juzi mliona baskeli, baskeli kitu kingine imekonda kidogo, ilisimamisha city for 1 week mpaka nikashanga kumbe baskeli iko na power namna hii. Hata mimi nika ride on the bicycle na wengine wale wengine. Ndio ni kusema kwamba hata sisi tumeweka mbele. So mambo ya sports, mambo ya biashara, mambo ya kilimo, mambo ya affordable housing, tunasimama na rais wetu wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Kwanza ametusaidia vijana wapate kazi. Alafu wale vijana wetu wa VTCs mtatusaidia county commissioner jinsi ya kushikana na ma contractors, wakikuwa free time wakuja wabebe mawe, wafanye nini na wapate certificate yao na pesa kidogo. Alafu wale mko na skills kidogo, for you to have skill o kutana na NITA. NITA pia to certify nyinyi ukuwe na certificate yako. Hii itakusaidia sana ufanye kazi kila mahali. Si mpaka hapo, Mungu awabariki. Na kwa sababu MC alikuwa amesema naondoka, waje niondoke because sikuwa na haja ya kuondoka, lakini nimetolewa mbio sana. Alafu nashukuru sana waziri wetu wa housing na team yenu. You are doing a very good job. Muendelee namna hiyo. Mambo ya approvals, hii itakata shortcuts mzuri. Na uzuri Eldoret hatujasikia kwamba kuna nyumba imecollapse kama mahali pengine. Ama msikia watu wengine ati nyumba imecollapse imeenda chini. Hapa yetu hata kama ni kioski iweze kucollapse. Mnasikia? Because approvals zetu ni standard. Na tunataka kusema tuendelee hivyo na Mungu awabariki. Mtanisamea because nakimbia mashishi na huyo ya mtu yetu resident wa Eldoret. Mtatuacha tukimbie mbio, lakini msiondoke na mtu asinifuate. Hiyo ni amri kutoka above. Sawa? Asanteni sana. Mungu awabariki.
Let's all rise. We appreciate His Excellency the Governor. Tumpige makofi. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your time and karibu tena. Thank you very much. We can settle down now. Let's settle down as we allow the Governor to live in his own leisure. Thank you very much, the Governor's press team as well. Thank you for putting this live on Facebook. Ukiangalia pale the Governor's Facebook, official Facebook handle, we were live. We've been live. We can settle down now, right? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very well. The members of the fourth estate, asante sana for that. Thank you, and make sure Leo you watch the news, you listen to the news on the radios. Probably this pre-expo conference will be on the news. Karibu sana wale wanaingia. Kindly find yourself a place you can make yourself comfortable. Thank you very much. I think it's now very much in order that we have the blessings of His Excellency the Governor for this particular conference. And we may now continue. Right about now, I want to bring the next speaker. And before we bring the next speaker right here on stage, asante sana Father Mwanda. Thank you very much for your time and God bless you. Before I bring the next speaker who is going to speak on matters finance, on behalf of all the banks and the financials who are here, we have the Regional Managing Director for Kenya Power. Allow me, Mr. Chair, to give it to give an opportunity to the Regional Managing Director, Kenya Power, to just greet us and make a brief remarks. Madam MD, please. Tumpige makofi tafadhali. Karibu sana, salimia watu. They say Kenya Power, powering lives.
Good afternoon, all protocols observed. My name is Engineer Mary Kirui. I'm not the managing director. I'm the regional manager taking care of the business of North Rift region, 6 counties. And I'm glad to be here. And I'm associated with all of you. I'm very excited when I look at the houses being constructed. It reminds me that we have a business opportunity as Kenya Power. And we were talking about I saw the theme was about the green affordable. It's called climate resilient housing. And when you look at the climate resilient housing, as Kenya Power, what is the role? Most of our generation is climate resilient. That is, we get our generation from geothermal, which is green. We get our generation from hydros. We also get generation from solar. And we also get a generation from wind. And all those sources of energy are green sources, which really match with what is the theme for this expo today. I want to thank the organizers even for inviting us. We are very happy and we really appreciate as Kenya Power. And as I said, we are a good partner, because as you put up these houses, we offer the solution, ensuring that they are connected on time, because you not want to move to a house which doesn't have power. And we also partner to ensure that we provide a reliable supply. And how do we do that? Even as you put up those houses, they are normally the process of making the application. You give us the plan, ensure that the plans are accurate, so that we move and churn it together. As we do the technical design, we ensure that design provide the stability of supply to these houses. And it is a good opportunity for us, and we really want to really appreciate to ensure that we provide that quality supply, providing also the street lighting. And we are happy to be journeying together. So I didn't have much to say. I think I just wanted to just say we are together on this. When you have this expo, please be inviting us. And even as you do the houses, please let us journey together, because when we start from the initial stage, then as you complete the houses, we ensure that the services are there. And you find sometimes that you complete the house, then you make the application, which take a longer time for it to be implemented. But if you were to do it at the time when you are doing the ground breaking, and then by the time you are completing the houses, we ensure that the services are provided. So as Kenya Power, we are committed to ensure that we provide reliable supply. We ensure that we are for you, because you are our main stakeholder. You are, in fact, Kenya Power is made because of you. Without you being our customer, without you ensuring that we have that growth in sales, then we will not be even where we are. So we really want to appreciate, and we want to really thank you. May God bless you, and thank you so much for the invite. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's appreciate Kenya Power one more time. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, you cannot build a complete house without powering it. And Madam Regional Manager, thank you for that correction. And just to let you know, we have a good number of electricians here with us, and probably they depend on Kenya Power for that. That's why we say Kenya Power, powering lives. I'm guided, Mr. Chair, that before I bring somebody who is going to talk matters finance, let's begin with matters legal. Perhaps you're asking yourself, where does a lawyer come in the building and construction industry? When and at what point do you need a lawyer or an advocate or a legal person? So allow me right now to bring somebody who is going to talk about the role of the Law Society of Kenya. I mean the role of legal personnel in building and construction and property management, and that is Advocate Nelly Tor from the Law Society of Kenya. Advocate Nelly Tor, karibu sana. Let's appreciate her as she comes. Karibu sana, Council.
Thank you so much. All protocol observed. Good afternoon. My name is Nelly Tor. I'm an advocate of over 12 years in practice. I have a law firm here in town. And I was requested to speak briefly on the issues pertaining land, and more so with regards to ownership. That topic is wide. If I was to start speaking in depth about it, I can guarantee you will be here up to maybe next month. But in brief, I'll just talk the role of a lawyer, and more so when you have the interest in acquiring property, and in this case, the affordable housing, the first thing you have to do is do the due diligence. The due diligence is by you yourself, the person who is interested, that is the buyer. Because if you want to buy it, you have to know. And knowing, you have to go to the appropriate registries, you have to do the search, which is at the land registry, and also see the original documents, that is the title deed. You also have to do the background check, and this I'll just talk for general and not more specifically for affordable housing. You also have to do the background check if the land is indeed in the name of the person who is going to sell to you. And they always say that the person who knows the genuine owner of the land is the drunkard in the village. So always inquire. It's good to have that information. Then once you have the information, and then now you have to go to seek professional help. And this you have to go to the lawyer's office, where now you will have to go with the seller, and then you execute the document, which is the sale agreement. Then from that point, now he will guide you on the process of conveyance, which is the registration of the instrument. And in the affordable housing, I'll mention this one: when you're acquiring the title with regards to that unit. It will not be the entire parcel, because now it's a block. But when you're acquiring, you will get the title for that specific unit, be it a condo or a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom. Then you also have to be, let me just check on the part I was told to speak about. I was also told to speak on what is required when you are doing the registration. So first of all, you will have to get the consent. The consent is from the land board for transfer. Then you have to get the rates and rent clearance. That also has to be assessed by the valuer who does a report. Then also you have to avail the original title deed. Then of course the registration instruments. There's also the stamp duty, which is paid to the KRA. Now we have the freehold, that is the agricultural land. The stamp duty is normally 2%, and for the leases, it's 4% of the consideration. Consideration meaning the value of that land. Then, sorry. You also have to be aware of there are fraudsters who will always come to connive, steal from you. So the recourse is either the criminal way, that is where you report to the police, then a criminal case will now ensue, or the civil. The civil is where now you have to seek for maybe damages or refund. Then when you also have to be aware, when you're buying property, be wary not to buy from a deceased person. You always have to make sure that this land indeed exists in the name of the person who is available, living. Because with the deceased, now you'll put yourself in the process of now following up after the estate. And sometimes people are not keen. They don't want to undergo that succession route. So sometimes you might lose your money. So I want to thank you so much. I think I've just covered in brief because that topic is very wide. Thank you so much.
Come on, let's appreciate Madam Council. Asante sana. Actually, that was very brief, and at least right now, you know somebody to consult in case you need any legal advices as far as the affordable housing program and building industry is concerned. Let's now switch to matters finances. I know the gentleman from the Juakali sector is really going to be keen on this, sababu alikuwa ameuliza, now tuko kwa ujenzi, tutatoa wapi pesa? We have the willing heart, we have the capacity, but we don't have the finances. Allow me now at this point to invite somebody from Absa Bank to talk on the role of the financials in the building and construction industry as far as the affordable housing program is concerned. Madam Mary Muregi from Absa Bank. All right, now that I'm guided, Leonard from Absa Bank is going to speak on her behalf. Mr. Leonard from Absa Bank. He's also gone. All right. Let's have somebody from DTB. Somebody from DTB to speak on the role of financials. I can see people from DTB are still here. All right. Yeah, karibu sana. Or somebody who is to speak is on the way. All right. Let's switch gears as we wait to learn about the role of financials in the building and construction industry. Let's invite a professional who deals in mambo ya planning, and we have somebody who does proper planning in terms of as far as building and construction is concerned. Dr. Job Ngetich. Dr. Job Ngetich, tafadhali come here so that you enlighten all of us on matters planning. So that after planning, we'll now need the finances. I hope by that time. All right. Thank you. Thank you. As they prepare the technical part, I request.
colleagues from the built environment, good afternoon. My name is Job Ngetich. I am a member of the Kenya Institute of Planners, of Physical Planners. I have practiced planning for quite some time here in Kenya. And therefore, I would like to thank the organizers of this conference led by our colleagues from the built environment. I got the invitation from the organizers on this, telling me to speak about the role of professionals in an affordable housing program. And I have my presentation here. The theme, of course, is affordable climate resilient housing, looking into the future of construction and smart city. And my topic, I changed it to be the role of built environment professionals in affordable housing. The built environment has very many stakeholders. The industry has very many stakeholders because we need different specializations for housing to be constructed. And therefore, as part of introduction, I know it has been mentioned, in academics or in research, you start from the very, very basic, what is a house? And I think His Excellency the Governor talked about shelter, housing, they go together. Then here we said housing is a very important aspect in life. We said it provides privacy, protection from danger, and also the structure where people are housed. I was also reading another book by someone, I think Macharia in Nairobi, on issues of real estate. Housing is where babies are also made. Generations are made from houses. So housing is very important. Then we are looking at housing in terms of many parameters. Not only the structure, you are looking at the land and infrastructure. Yeah, the compound, the security, all those, they combine together to form housing. Even the serene, and is it secure? Is it beautiful? So that is an aspect of housing. The structure there is called cube housing. Cube housing, I think modern housing. That is the structure. Yeah, there are different types of houses or typologies of houses, and it varies from one region to another, and also tests by the occupiers of the houses. Maybe you might require one bedroom, a retiring person like me, I might require a one bedroom. As opposed to a family person, you need 5 rooms. Yeah, so you see, it varies from one person to another. Then again, why are we concerned about housing? I remember His Excellency the President was telling people, why is it our business? Why is housing our business? And he mentioned about very many reasons. The first one being, yeah, we are talking about population. It has been mentioned about by the year 2050, 60% of humanity will live in cities. And therefore we need to do what? We need to provide houses. We've talked about the growth rate of urbanization, which is very high, between 7 to 8. Then also housing areas have a lot to do with health and sanitation, environment. Because of the congestion, it's likely to have a solid waste, sewage, and so forth. I remember in Spain, I think Spain is one of the cities that has a problem. There's a city in Spain now that is having a problem with sanitation. The sewer system is blocked. I saw in the news in the morning. So this affects housing areas. Then again, we talked about socioeconomic problems. They are manifested in housing areas. especially slums and so forth. So affordable housing is a panacea solution to slumification. Then it is also a major element. Housing is a major element on issues of standard of living. An aspect, when people are being counted during the census, one aspect that is considered is housing. You look at the reports, census after every 10 years, one aspect that is considered is housing. So it's an indicator of a standard of living in any country. Then also we talked about household expenditure. They've talked about for you affordable house, you must pay at least between 20 to 30% of your salary or income in a month. So if you are spending more than 30%, then that's not affordable housing. Okay. Then we've got, it is also a major aspect of capital formation. Then the building industry, construction industry also contributes a lot to do with the GDP. GDP is the total wealth of the country. So when there is, the GDP is good, there is likely to be many jobs created, a lot of saving, a lot of money exchanging hands, a lot of businesses, so the country develops because of housing. Then of course we've talked about it creates employment to many people. I think this is what has been understood in the political arena, that it creates jobs. And they can mention, they'll talk about masons, they'll talk about various skills. So it creates many jobs. And that is one aspect, what is very important. They have also said, in that, as I conclude the introductory part, is a fundamental human right. Housing is one of those basic needs that are guaranteed in our constitution, and especially in Article 43, where they talk about the need to have housing. Then I want to skip that. What is affordable housing? That is defined in the Act, in the law. It's talking about where not more than 30% of your income is affordable housing. Then the scheme, I think that is part of what we have seen, we have discussed. Then let's look at the policy legal, and I think I will also skip this because the learned friend has talked about the legal basis of housing. But I can just go through it. We've talked about, that's the government policy talking about how many houses will be constructed every year. That was mentioned. The Constitution is talking about housing, Article 43. There is housing policy. Housing policy is talking about the need for houses. And for your information, every year, the people who migrate to cities in Kenya is about 300,000 people. 300,000 people migrate from rural to urban areas. And therefore, there is need to provide those houses, the 300,000 houses, in various towns in Kenya. Then another law that informs housing is Section Property Act of 2020, where you talk about ownership of that small studio or small house in the air, in that ghorofa we are talking about, where you share, you own a unit, and then you share common facilities, like the stairs, for example. Maybe you are in 5th floor, so you need to use the stairs. So there are certain common facilities you need to use. Even the compound itself, you share the compound. So that is informed by Section Property Act. Then there is Affordable Housing Act. This is the latest one. The affordable, which gave the way. You remember there were issues about deductions, and then the court said there was no legal basis. They had to go back, and they conducted public participation until they enacted and passed this legislation. And recently the court said, well, deductions are in order, is constitutional, because there is a framework for that. Then the last SDG, number 11, is talking about sustainable cities and communities. And 50% of land use in urban areas is for housing, is planned for housing. Then in a nutshell, because we are talking about affordable housing, this is what the law talks about. The law has 9 sections. And there are 9 sections, the key sections, the themes, the thematic areas of the affordable housing law. There's 9, and I want to just mention a few. The introduction is part 1. Then part 2 is talking about affordable housing levy. These are now the deductions, how much you have to pay. Then number 3, establishment and management of the affordable housing fund. The funds, the sources of funds, and how they are utilized. Then, of course, part 5 is talking about the role of the county government in affordable housing. So this is where they establish county rural and urban affordable housing committee. I think the chairman is here, Kwambai, for that. For that. So they derive their mandate from that Affordable Housing Act. Then part 5 is the implementation, but the last part is talking about financial, and the last number 9 is miscellaneous provisions. So that is precisely about the law. So the law gives us the mandate to discuss about, to build houses and to talk about how we can meet the housing demand in the county and even in our country. Then here we have professional associations. My presentation, this is the main part of the presentation. We have different professionals. I'm aware there is going to be a presentation but I'm looking at it generally, not as a planner, but I'm looking at the entire framework of professionalism in the built environment. So where we have architects and what they do, Architectural Association of Kenya, that's a body for architects. So they discuss their own issues, they draw, they design the buildings and the structures for the houses. And you need to, before you build, you need to have a drawing, and you talk to an architect to design the building in accordance with your aspirations. Maybe you want to see your bedroom in the left or in the right. So those are the things that you discuss with the architect, and you give the specifications. Then, of course, that's an umbrella association for professionals there. Then number 2, we have the Kenya Institute of Planners. We have our members here, Kenya Institute of Planners. That is a body for physical planners. Physical planners, it was established in around 2001, around 2000, yeah. So they have their members, and they come early before an architect. So the physical planner will have to design a master plan for a town or a housing area to indicate the areas where the residential areas will be, where the roads will be, where industrial areas will be, and where the schools or other social amenities will be placed within the context of the city itself. Because housing area cannot exist alone. It goes together with other activities. So the physical planner has to determine what level of services are required for a housing area. Because in a housing area, you need a school, you need a commercial area, you need a swimming pool, you need a church, you need a parking. So the physical planner is the one to determine what kind of services are required in that. After getting the approval, after the plan has been approved, then the designer now, the architect, will come in to the details of rooms and the doors and the windows and the space requirements. So that's another professional. Then we also have our sister professional body, Town and Country Planners Association, which is also going to be working together with the physical planner. Then we have the Engineers Registration Board. This is where an engineer is required to ensure that those columns, the structure is stable. So he knows what kind of tumors are required to avoid the building from collapsing and having those negative impacts. So the structure engineer comes in and their body is called Engineers Board of Kenya. And then we have also Board of Registration of Architects and Quantity Surveyors. This is called BORAX. So they also deal with the issue. The quantity surveyors, they give you measurements of what is required before a build you construct. Do you have enough resources? What is the total cost? How many bags of cement are required? And the timber. So the quantity surveyor will have to give you those kind of details. And there are many, they are registered, and some of the requirements for you to get a loan, the financials are here, is you need to get the BQs, the bill of quantities for the development, for the house that you want to construct. Most of the houses are constructed for years, maybe, I don't know how many years, you see them, because they did not do the BQs. Before you start a project, you need to know the total cost. So therefore, to be sure that this money is going to complete the project. Maybe if you have a small amount of money, the project will stop at some point, and then you struggle looking for funds. So the QS will tell you the requirements of that. And then surveyors, we have talked about the title deed or learned friend. You need to know the boundaries of the area. Do you have a title? Do you have, is it encroaching on the roads? So you check. And so that you don't also build across another person's plot. Have you seen the beacon? Have you checked the beacons of the plot? Because if you construct beyond the beacon, then when a matter lands in court, then the judge or the magistrate will say, where is the surveyor? Where is the boundary? And if it is encroaching on somebody's land or the road, then that building is pulled down, is brought down, because you have not, taken advantage of the professional services of a surveyor. Okay. Then we have Environment Institute of Kenya, that is EIK. Environment, we've talked about that. This is NEMA, so their professionals are registered as associate experts, or they are called lead experts. So they are supposed to kind of prepare what we call environment impact assessment reports and environmental audit. That development is going to affect the environment, and therefore you need to ensure that the environment is protected. Whatever you are constructing is in harmony with nature. So that building has to conform with the area. Maybe the area is, there is water, or maybe the area has a certain kind of species, vegetation, that needs to be protected. So those are the considerations. Is it a suitable site or not? So one needs to consider that before you carry out any development. And even if the development is done, what will happen to the solid waste? How many people will be living there? Are they safe in terms of fires? Do they have the exits? Are they environmental friendly for the people living with disabilities? So things like the ramps and so forth, so they are checked at that level. So that is regulated by NEMA. NEMA, I think they are regulators, they are here. So for you to be a lead expert, there are requirements. For you to be a surveyor qualified, there are requirements. And that is given by the Act and the professional ethics, the standards of professional ethics. Then professional association in the US, in other countries, have said the Global Professional Association, as we work, as we do things also in Kenya, we need to go beyond the boundaries and see what happens in other jurisdictions. Are there professional associations in other countries? So in my presentation, in the UK, we have Association of Building Engineers, we have Institute of Building, we have the Royal Institute of Surveyors, Association of Project Management, then we have Institute of Housing, Chartered Institute of Plumbing and Heat Engineering. I saw the plumbers here. You have an association. The plumbers are here in the room. Yes, in the UK they have their own professional association. And I'm told the plumbers in the UK are paid more than a professor. They get more when they are there. So it's a very interesting area in the UK. Then we have waste management, an institution of waste management. So we look at waste management in Kenya as something for the municipality, for the city. It's none of our business. So out there, they have an association of people who are licensed to do that. So there's room for us to benchmark and see how we can integrate some of these lessons learned from other areas. Then there is water and environmental management. Then we have the Royal Town Planning Institute of the UK. Those are professionals there. Let's look at the US, the Trump's place now. We have American Planning Association, and then we have the American Public Transportation Association, American Society of Landscape Architects, then Center for Urban Planning Research, and then they have a Congress for New Urbanism. So they have many professionals in the built environment. Then I don't want to deal with that. I've mentioned specific professionals. Architects, their role, we have mentioned the quantity surveyors. Then structural engineer, they are supposed to design the structures, the columns, the beams, staircases, and any place where you are using reinforcements, the steels and so on. Then electrical engineer, we have members here, electrical engineers, the wirings and the energy issues. So they deal with that. They design, they implement, the electricians. Then mechanical engineer, I don't know whether we have a mechanical. Here, they are saying mechanical engineers are very important. The lift, when you came through here, I think there is a lift. So that's the role of the mechanical person, to ensure that the lift is working and you are not caught up somewhere. So that is perhaps important. The landscape designer is to make the environment beautiful. They look nice, look very nice, and they also look at inside and outside the building. So the compound should look very nice and attractive to even the customers, the tenants. So you need to engage those professionals as we talk about affordable houses. When the environment is good, tenants will not leave. They don't change the rooms. They don't move. They don't migrate from one house to another if it is well designed, because it will be attractive. You'll find that many tenants will always want to live in a house that is well designed and it has a beautiful environment. Then physical planners, I mentioned what they do. They prepare the PDP, part development plan, the layout plans for the site. There is a site for housing. And in that layout, maybe a swimming pool is required. Yes, swimming pools, places like a shopping mall within the affordable housing area, because those people should not move out. There's a school, there's a kindergarten. So those are the facilities that the physical planner has to design, and they work together with the architects. Then contractors, of course, that is the last person to execute the kind of projects, housing projects. So before that, you need to get an approval, finally. As you design the houses, ensure that you get an approval. So the approval process requires that you submit a drawing and the specifications. Ile map, ya architect, na drawings, and the BQs, they are taken to the physical planner, to the county, to check whether it is complying with the master plan of the town. So that is an approval process. And there is a committee comprising of the physical planners, we have the housing officers, we have the surveyors. So there is a technical committee that looks into the drawings to ensure that the drawing is accurate. And after approval, during the implementation, at every stage of development. Kama ni foundation, you are digging the foundation, the engineer has to be there. During the this foundation slab, and there is a card to be signed. So to ensure that no step is left unchecked. Even the partitions, during the partitioning, the engineer has to be on site from the county to ensure quality control. The roofing is the same, all the way up to the windows finishing. During the finishing stage, then there is a permit to be given, occupational license or certificate, to ensure that the building is ready for occupation. So the kind of challenges we see in our other cities is because they are not following the process. To ensure that, you know, the engineer needs to know, do we have the right quantities of cement and sand and ballast in the right ratios? Or do we have the right metals? The chuma, if it is Y10, whatever, is it up to the standard? So those are the things that are checked to ensure that the building is sustainable and it is going to be there for many years, So that is approval process, and the approval involves different professionals. And when you are getting an approval, the signatures are put in every drawing, all the drawings. And you need to keep the drawing because at some point it might be required. So sometimes you laminate the drawing because, you know, the drawing needs to be there as long as the building is existing. Then in conclusion, I want to say professionals are very important people in the affordable housing sector. They are game changers. They are people, they are called they are lead experts, lead agency and lead expert, because they have the knowledge of housing. They have the knowledge on the direction of how the city should be for now in the future. Professionals are also needed to work together collaboratively. You don't work alone, you need an architect. You need to work as a team, about 8 professionals, and you need to harmonize our operations. Then professionals also are innovative. They integrate new ideas in planning of affordable housing. Currently, we are talking about climate change. And so the design standards are supposed to be designed to be in line with issues of climate change. We are talking about green infrastructure. We need to use the natural light, the solar, instead of hydro because of issues of climate change, because of global warming. We need to use low carbon materials during the construction processes. So we look at that, because if climate change is affecting housing, cities, and every year the temperatures are increasing. If those ones are not checked, for example, then climate change is going to affect humanity, and nobody will live in those houses because the temperatures will be high. The human beings can easily get affected. So we need to protect the environment. We need to integrate those strategies that talks about resilience, urban resilience. Then I've also said we need to be benchmarking. In a forum like this, this is where we share ideas. We see what others are doing in different areas, so we compare and learn more. So our conference today is also a forum where we share new knowledge, new ideas for implementation. In urbanization and city planning, we are talking about experimentation. That means the county government or the local authorities are not the custodians of knowledge. It's the small activities that we do in our own environments, like best practices. Maybe you have a good estate where they use a digester. Instead of using maybe a septic, use a digester where you kind of, you clean the water and reuse, that kind of situation. Then that is also an innovation. So we need to be innovative and to ensure that we share knowledge, new knowledge for inclusion in policy information. As we review our policies and planning standards and design standards, we integrate new areas because we believe change is inevitable. It is going on. So as I conclude, we say that professionals also, the governor mentioned that we are keen to ensure that our members are following the standards and ethical practices to ensure that we don't have collapsing buildings and so forth. Members are required to be researching, to live up to the ethos of the professional body. So thank you so much. Thank you for invitation, and thank you for this forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's appreciate Daktari. Thank you very much. That's very deep, Bwana Daktari. Thank you very much, and we really appreciate your being here and with a vast knowledge of actually planning in the building and construction industry. I have some good news for you that we are not taking more than 30 minutes from this point. So in the next 30 minutes, probably we'll be breaking for lunch, and I think that will be in order enough. Now, allow me briefly for 5 minutes or so to give it to the financiers. I hope by this time Leonard is here with us. All right. As before Leonard comes, allow me, Mr. Chair, to invite somebody who is going to speak on behalf of those people who focus so much on the research part of it. That is the higher learning, the higher education. We have with us here Daktari from Moi University. Is that so? Or is it University of Eldoret? All right. Daktari, karibu sana, Dr. Viola Koskei, lecturer, Moi University, who is going to speak on the role of institutions of higher learning as much as research is concerned. You need to do a lot of research for proper building and construction. Karibu Daktari.
Okay, good afternoon once again. As he said, I'm Dr. Viola Koskei. I am a biochemist, a nutritionist focusing on nutrition in relation to communicable diseases. I'm an environmentalist as well. A co-founder for the EcoPulse Alliance, which is focusing on mentorship and green technologies in relation to climate mitigations in East Africa, that is in Kenya, Uganda, and Burundi. At the same time, I'm a lecturer at Moi University, the most immediate chair of department for chemistry and biochemistry, and also immediate president for the African Association of France Alumni in Kenya, which works closely with the Chamber of Commerce of France. So today, my role here as well as a member of the committee for the rural urban affordable housing of Uasin Gishu County. So it's a pleasure to present to you on the role of higher institutions of learning in building and construction. Sorry, I don't know, I've lost my presentation, but I have it with me. No way. Anyways, I'm given 5 minutes, and okay, fine. Okay, so in regards to that, as my colleague, my predecessor colleagues who have presented on the affordable housing, and my colleague on professional role in the building and construction, and also affordable housing. So in this case, my apologies, I'm not able to present my PowerPoint there. But anyways, so why higher education, higher institutions of learning? That means it's not only focusing on the universities, but also on technical institutes, including the TVETA, which are the big plays a big role in the building and construction. And what is the role in research of these institutions? So as you know, having a home is what always all of us aspire. We are who we are because of where we come, where we sleep, where we wake up. Because unless you have where you are comfortable, and that is why we say our home, whether east or west, is very comfortable, yeah? Regardless of how it is. So why we should now focus in research on our homes, affordable housing. So in this case, the higher learning institutions, especially in Kenya, on focusing on this affordable housing means that, first of all, it plays a crucial role, as all of us knows, that we will produce the professionals and the skilled labor that goes into this industry. And in this case, we have a number of all of us playing a crucial role, including the architects, the quantity surveyors, civil engineers, planners, town planners, and lawyers, etc., that are crucial in this industry. So we train them. I was really overwhelmed when I saw we have many electricians in here. We have also the plumbers. As you know, even now, outside Kenya, these are the kind of industries that people are looking for. People say it is the skilled labor, it's hands-on, and that is one of the key roles that this Institution of Higher Learning is doing in producing the labor that is going to build these houses. At the same time, there was Jama from the Juakali. Those are the people that are to have the hands-on as much as you always have the brain behind to make sure that we have quality housing. So aside from that, in research, you're focusing more when you start to plan the house, where are we going to build it? What is the quality of the soil? The geologists will look at that because they need to see through environmental impact assessment, what is the short term in 1 year, in 2 years, if we build this house here, is it sustainable? Is it safe? Because we have to look at so many things. So in that environmental impact assessment, huwezi jenga karibu na mto, we understand why. And that is why we see when we have the floodings around here, we have recently in Kenya been losing lives because people have encroached on the riparian lands, yeah? So where we cannot be able to live, because of course with research we focus on so many years to come, not just today or tomorrow. At the same time, on the environmental impact, should it be story building, how many buildings should we have so that the soil can be able to sustain, how long. If we have an earthquake, of course, as Christians, you'll always want to hope for the best, but you always have to look at the risks. What are the risks that we could be predisposed in this? Okay, through the same research, what about the quality of the building materials? Now we are talking about the green smart cities. In this case, what is this material that I'm going to use? Is it green? Is it sustainable? If we are going to do the roofing, are we going to still use the timber? As I said, I'm an environmentalist. Are we going to clear our forest so that we can use it as a 6-4? Yeah, we have the 4-2 and so forth. The carpenters who are doing the roofing will say that. Are we going to focus on using the ions? Yeah, so in this case to do the roofing and so forth, so that as much as we are doing this, we make sure that we conserve our environment, and also it should be sustainable. At the same time, if the material is used, is it safe for human health? Yeah, you remember in the past we used to use asbestos as roofing materials, which later it came to know that it is carcinogenic, exposing all of us to cancers. We don't know how long we will have the effect. Maybe some of our people, the kins, we have lost them since we don't focus too much on research. Might have been lost through this. We don't know. At the same time, what about the people working in this industry? What are the safety gears and materials that they are using? How often are they exposed to some of these materials that are lethal, including the cement, etc.? So that one might not be part of my today's mission, but it is good to know when you work in this industry, always look at the safety path. Apart from production of the quality innovative building materials, I remember early this year I attended a conference with which they were showcasing on new building materials like the tiles produced through recycling of plastics. Yeah, so we need to also still look into this kind of research and focus on these items that we can use in building and make sure that if we are going to use them in if they are recyclable, can we use them again to improve our housings, and it should be quality. So again, in research now, this is very common, especially with people in AI. How can we use AI to generate proper designs that are also sustainable? Yeah. So in this case, there was one research which is now ongoing. Of course, as I said, I'm a nutritionist. You will be shocked that in Kenya, some people are suffering from lack of vitamin D. And you are going to be surprised. In Kenya, we have sun throughout the day, and some of our children, unfortunately, lack vitamin D. Why? It's because of the designs of the housing, especially in the informal sector, and that is related to many matters, not only to the design of the house and also to the security. So somebody will say, I should lock my child inside the house for the longest time I want, so that they are safe, but in this case, it is a shock that some of these children now are supplemented with vitamin D in this part of the world. So it's my hope that in this research also we are going to still focus on having these housings that are more on health. So still on innovative green smart technologies, we want to see and also do more of the research in these sections, like how much of the water could we harvest, and the water should be clean. How can we have the water that is on the washways that we use? Can we recycle them? Can we use them, especially if now in our city we have a lot of washing points, for example, for car washes? Where does this water go? Ask yourself, you can answer yourself that question. Can this water be recycled? We continue washing the same car with the same water? It's possible. That one I can tell you. So in this also we need to focus on green energies. We have sun 12 hours a day, and in this case, how many of us are really going to green energy? We need to be sensitized as well to use to supplement the other energies, and also in our sustainable houses and affordable houses should be able to have really harnessing the use of green technologies, green energies. And I had somebody from the solar, I think I have one of them in my place. We need to use this kind of energies. We don't pay for it. It's expensive in the source point, but in the late time we could use it. It becomes more cheaper. Apart from that, still in research, we need to look at, I always say we are human beings, we are social beings. And research should focus on the social part of the human being. When we live in this, our new affordable housings, you heard we have how many units? 200 units. Maybe some of us have not had this opportunity of living in one home with 200 units with how many people inside. That is one thing that we will also have to focus in terms of research on how people will live in harmony. Yeah, we should never forget that we are social beings. Sometimes you could always say, jirani yangu ameweka takataka. How many jiranis would put takataka in the neighbor's home? Those are some of the things we need to look at that. Apart from that is in mental health. When we are all together, it's good, but how much of us are going to be neighbors of the neighbors? Some of us have had the advantage of living outside Kenya, where for some reasons we've never known our neighbor. Okay? So for us as Kenyans, how are we going to enhance knowing my neighbor? This means that we need to enhance the social economic needs in utilities and infrastructure related to social well-being, so that in our affordable housing, I know the one at Pioneer, we have a swimming pool. That means we'll always have to meet each other there. We have, there will be selling points. So in this case, we'll meet with someone to buy mboga to do something, and it's a good thing. So maybe we can just give a clap for that. Yeah. Also, some people will say, okay, we are Kenyans here. Some of us have pets. and I would really want to move to the house and there is a pet, where will I tembeza my pet? Yeah, usiseme it is westernized. That is where we are going. Let us also always have an open mind. At the same time, where will our children play? We are happy that in these houses there are playgrounds for the kids. So all the time you can be able to have the children play. Tusifunge watoto as the example that I have used, and I don't want to mention where the children are locked. Watoto wacheze. Let us also give time for development. I would say that I'm a girl from Savannah. I grew in the rural village, but now our children are growing in the town. Are they going to feel that thing of just sliding in the mud when it rains? Are they going to take that swing and enjoy? I don't know, but we need to provide that. And the research tells us that we need to do that. So apart from that, the very, very important thing is how to do the solid waste management in a green way. So I'm really looking forward, and all of us being in that team, to see how some of us are able to segregate our waste. If it is solid, it's plastic, it's put in this container. That is the working issue we are looking forward to. With some of us in, I believe that will achieve, where we will put our vegetables. And for me as a biochemist, I need that vegetable, we will decompose it. And once it is composed, we have manure for people to grow vegetable for us. It is possible. It's not just, it is, if we have these cities now, there's nothing that is impossible. And in this case, I think we are looking forward for great things. And Wasingishu being one of the best cities that we will have around. Some people, or my friends, when they come to Wasingishu, they say, this one is another city. Can you go to Rupa Mall? Some of us have ever been there. If you have been in Rupa, you have been everywhere in the world. Most of the urban cities are like that. You have everything within one point. And this is where we are going. So, guys, let us do it together. Let's support each other. Kila mkono yafaa iwe pale. And it's always our dream to have a home, as I started with that. Let us always support the team that is working on this. And whenever some of us who are researchers, as I said, I'm a researcher, I have some part of my research being done here in ELDORET, in AMPHITHEATER, in MTRH. Let us always support. It's very important because it helps us to project our future and now. Thank you so much, and I hope that the message is home. Thank you so very much for this opportunity.
Wow, let's appreciate Daktari. Wonderful. I wish you were my lecturer. You can really teach so well. At least you know somebody who can assist you in terms of research when you are building or constructing your houses. Now, nafikiri tumechoka sana. We've listened a lot, right? Naomba hapo penye uko simama tu kidogo tu, because we want now to talk matters finances, na pesa sasa inataka a lot of concentration. Simama kidogo tu. Simama kidogo tu. Yeah, just lift up your two hands. Move them to the left slowly. Move them to the right. To the left again. Clap once. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show, if you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you feel fresh now, sit down. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I needed that concentration because we want to switch to finances now. For the next 5 minutes, I want to invite Diana from Kenya Commercial Bank to enlighten us on the role of the financials in the industry of building and construction as far as the housing, the affordable housing program is concerned. And then thereafter, we will now switch gears to this other side. Karibu sana, Diana.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon again. Mnanisikia vizuri? I'm very soft spoken. See, I'm not very loud, but I hope you can hear me. So as you've heard, my name is Diana. I'm from KCB. That is Kenya Commercial Bank, KCB Eldoret branch, the one at Kenyatta Avenue. And I have some colleagues, maybe they can just wave. So first of all, we want to thank you for giving us these chances. Financial institutions, I'd seen in the morning we were so many. and we would like to state our role as a financial institution in affordable housing. For the banks, there are two ways that the government is targeting the financial institution to assist Kenyans on how to get houses. Number one, the government is building houses, the ones you've had, for example, in Pioneer, and they are selling them to Kenyans who can afford for them to get houses. And then there is the second strategy where the government is financing the banks to be able to lend at a single digit to Kenyans for them to be able to afford houses. I think that voice is not well heard. I have not heard anyone talking about it. I only hear people talking about the built houses which are supposed to be sold to them. So the banks are able to lend you guys with a 9% interest rate on the amount of loan you take. Initially, it was capped at around up to around 200,000 average cash flows and pay slip. But now it's open for you can be able to get, even if it's the maximum is 10.5 million. So if you can afford to take a loan from 500,000 to 10.5 million, you can get a house. Not necessarily the one which has been built by the counties, but you can also get a land or buy a house. There are three ways in which the bank can be able to help you get a house. First of all, they can buy for you land. After buying for you land, they can construct for you the house, or you can buy an already built house, or you can buy an apartment. Everything of the three depends on your ability. So it doesn't matter how much you earn, you can still be in that bracket. And the good thing about affordable housing, the one which is financed by the government, is you don't need to have a house around town. You can be in Ushago and you want to build a house, because the main vision of the government is for everyone to have a house. So it doesn't necessarily need to be here around town. You can be outside town and you have land and you want the bank to finance you, we will finance you. And we are not financing people who work only. We also finance people who do businesses. You can be a dairy farmer, you can be a maize farmer, you can be a carpenter, you can be doing any other business, mama mboga. We can be able to finance you. As long as you open an account with the banks, you channel your incomes to the bank for a period of around 6 months. We can be able to calculate how much you can qualify, and we can buy for you those houses. So this project is open for everyone, and we want to encourage you guys to visit the banks and inquire more about this product that the government has given you. Currently, the interest rates for any other loan is very high. For you to get a loan in a bank right now, you get between 18 to 21%. But for affordable housing, it's 9.5%. And even the government officials, like the governors, you will see they normally have a scheme where they are given at around 3%. But for you to get 9.5, I think it is a good thing for you. I think everyone is provided for in this affordable housing, so that you don't go complaining that there are some deductions you are getting for affordable housing and you are not getting any help. You can walk to any bank, they can be able to do the math, and you can be able to get these houses. For businesses, we normally look at your cash flows. So we encourage you to be banking. Don't bank on cash or your M-Pesa. Kindly open account with banks, deposit your money. Everything that you have, always put it in the bank. It can be tracked. They can be able to see how much you earn, and the averagely every month how much you earn, and you can be able to get a house. So no one is locked out when it comes to getting affordable housing. For the government houses which have been built by the counties and you would like to buy if you are a mama mboga, I know the way I had heard is you need to have some down payment, like maybe it could be 200,000 or 100,000. Sometimes raising that money is not that easy. But if you've been banking with banks, you can be able to get that money, you pay for the house, and then continue contributing a little bit. It's not easy to save until you buy a house, but the bank can buy for you a house, and then you pay a little amount every month. So my encouragement today is, in every sector that you are, you can be able to get a house, and you can be financed by the banks. Kindly visit any bank, and you'll be able to open an account and channel your monies there. To target also the contractors, you are not left out. We have so many products as banks to be able to help you to do your work. For example, to do the building. I had someone from Juakali saying that they have issues with money and they would like to be assisted. Visit KCB Bank. We can be able to finance you. For the contractors, we have LPOs. And for the business people, the hardwares, we can give you the SME loans. We have all the products to suit you guys to be able to improve on your value chain, to reach that vision that you want to achieve, to be able to reach the number of clients that you want to get. And all of us can be able to grow. So if you're an hardware guy, we welcome you to visit banks. Bank with us, we will give you money. If you're an LPO guy, if you're a contractor, we can give you. If you're a transport person, we have asset financing where we can finance you to get to buy a tipper, to buy a lorry. And we have, banks have some arrangements with institutions like Isuzu where they can be able to give you cash and you can be paying kidogo kidogo until you can be able to achieve your goal. So no one is locked out. The banks are very open to assist you. We only need you to embrace the bank and don't put money in your houses. Kindly bank in the bank so that this money can circulate and be able to help everyone. I wasn't that prepared for the presentation, but I hope what I've said has really helped you, and we are open to assist you as banks. If you have any question or any challenges, you can always visit us, and we are also around. You can ask questions. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Diana. That was a very short notice, but you really delivered to the expectations. Samani aje? Sindio? Let's appreciate her one more time. And that is also another very simple way to say, make sure you have an account with the KCB Bank. Invest with that bank and you will be sorted absolutely on matters construction and building. Now, I know notably there is somebody who rarely sits down for hours in such a function, but today it's a very rare thing, and we really need to appreciate this person. This is a representative or somebody who is standing in for the county police commander, and that is none other than the OCPD, Kapseret sub-county. Let's appreciate him as he comes on stage. Bwana Kamuren, tumpige makofi tafadhali. He is going to give us an assurance on matters security during the upcoming Jenga Expo. Karibu sa.
Thank you very much for this opportunity you have given me. It is not that we cannot sit for long. It is only because of the exercise of duties. As you are aware, we are administering the national examinations, and today they are doing their chemistry practicals. And some of the center managers have started now returning back their scripts, whereby we are supposed to go and receive them. So allow me to say a few words and then give me permission to go and attend that assignment. For those who have joined us, we did the introduction in the morning, but maybe if you came when we had already made our introduction. My name is Sefania Kamuren, Sub-County Police Commander, Kapseret. I'm here representing the County Police Commander, who is also engaged in other duties, and gave me this opportunity to represent him. And before I say something, I want to pass his greetings to this congregation. He received the greetings from the County Commander. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank PRE-EXPO conference for giving us this invite. We cannot take it for granted because you find it wise that we become part of the team of this conference. So we thank you very much, and I also thank you on behalf of the county commander. And this conference, as I look from the introduction and from the presentation so far, I find that this city has got what it takes to take it to the highest level. If you look at the presentations so far, and others are yet to make their presentations, we have got everything which makes us possible to make our city great than any other city. And especially on the affordable housing. We have heard from various fields, various experts have spoken, and I've got no doubt in my mind that this program will succeed. I would also want to assure the PRE-EXPO conference that the subsequent meetings and subsequent events will be safe, and I will also promise our full participation in the sector of security. We'll ensure that everything is possible for you to continue with your presentations, your what you present, so that you interrogate, you make it together, and then when you are now doing the affordable housing, each and every one of you will have had a stake. And when you bring all those expertise in place, the work will be easier and nothing will be amiss. We are heading to this festive season. Schools have closed. The ongoing examinations are about to end in a few weeks' time, and most people will be in the city. I'm assuring you that we'll walk around the clock to ensure that the city is safe, to ensure that each and every one of you enjoys the festive season. And when we close the new year, each one of you will celebrate, and we join the new year with, well, while we are all safe. Otherwise, I want to make some few comments about security. Allow me, if I may, take some few minutes about crime prevention. When I was hearing about a presentation on the design, about the housing, and I found that every design is gauged towards the safety of our lives. And when you look at security, it is not just the security of crime. We are dealing with the crime part of security, but we have got other aspects of security. We have got environmental security, we have got health security, water security, and any kind of security. All these securities are geared towards the safety of human life. So when somebody sees a police officer or amount of security, you think that that is the only security sector that we have. But each one of us plays a very key role in our security. For example, the designing of our houses. You design in a way that the occupants will be secure, starting with the materials you use in these buildings, to ensure that these materials are strong enough to sustain that building, to avoid any damage or any accident to the occupants. When you are designing the environment, ensure that you put safety measures which will ensure that the occupants of that building are safe. That is what we call environmental design. To ensure that we have enough lighting, ensure that also there is fencing of that compound so that you limit access to that place. Because when you don't limit access, you'll be insecure. So we have what we call a limited of access. When you limit access to a given place, you'll reduce crime. Another aspect of crime, we also have what we call rule setting. When you are living in a given place, you have to set your rules to ensure that at a given time, the gate is closed, who is allowed to be in this place, or when somebody is to visit a place, you should have a badge or an invitation card so that you limit access to that place, and by doing that, you will improve your security. We also have what we call surveillance. Ensure that you put CCTV cameras, close observation by use of even security. You have got you can put on security towers whereby people will be watching over on those who are coming to those buildings. And there is what we call target hardening. Target hardening means that you make sure that somebody who wants to access a place finds hard to access to that place. One, you use padlocks. And these padlocks at times, you keep on changing them. Maybe somebody must have gotten access to the key. And nowadays we have got what we call master key. So when you have got a key, you are securing a place with a key, ensure that you change that lock regularly. By doing that, you are making that target to be hard, that somebody may not access to that place. So I have more to say, but because of time, allow me to finish there and saying that I wish you success in the next session and looking forward to meet with you for more interactions. Thank you very much.
Wow, let's appreciate Bwana Kamuren very well. Tumpige makofi mazuri. Thank you very much for the security assurance in the upcoming expo and also for enlightening us on matter security in our homes and during the building process. I think mumepata kitu At least even you are reflecting back in your home, mambo ya security unaona kweli kumbe inafaa kuimprove hapa nini. So I think at this point we'll allow the gentleman to live in his own pleasure. Thank you very much and regards to the county commander as well. Thank you, Bwana Kamuren. Now, there is somebody who is supposed to take us through enhancing service delivery in matters physical planning and what have you. And before he comes, I want to bring on board the Chief Officer, County Government of Uasin Gishu, the Chief Officer in charge of housing and urban planning, to do a proper introduction of the departmental staff, and then thereafter give us one person who is going to take us through enhancing service delivery in physical planning. Karibu, tumpige makofi Chief Officer wetu. Karibu Bwana Koech.
So thank you so much, MC. Our keynote speaker, Bwana Dadu, Chairman Kwambai, all of us, good afternoon. So I also want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for finding time to attend this very important event. I've been listening and I wish it was properly advertised so that all of us are here, particularly those dealing with housing. So we as a government, we are facilitators. We are support departments that will help the stakeholders to do their business. So as have been introduced, my name is Julius Koech, the Chief Officer for Housing and Urban Development. This is our home. This is where we belong. Housing and building and town and urban management is what we do on a daily basis in our offices. The most important assignment that we have is to ensure that the affordable housing program, that is a flagship project of His Excellency the President, is to ensure that it runs as per the design. So the design was, one, it to sort out the issue of housing, affordable. It should be affordable. Everybody must access decent housing because it is in the Constitution of Kenya that every Kenyan must access good living standard. So again, it must create employment, and I'm happy our sister here really gave us a story, a true story. You know, we've been visiting Gidiwa and we've been seeing the way they are doing their work. The Chuakali sector, where is the Chuakali guy? The Chuakali who did a presentation here. It is true. That is what they do. They are always there, and the equipments and the materials they are using, the doors and the windows, it is actually from the Chuakali sector. So the affordable housing program was actually supposed to bring such opportunities to our people. When you go to Pioneer, for example, you get quite a number of people doing some work. And on daily, kila siku, wanapata mapato yao. So it was really very important. Thank you so much, Nicholas Carrera. I think you are opening up our ears and eyes so that we can really educate our people. In Pioneer, I think I will bring on board my team to do presentations. In Pioneer, we have 2,108 units, and it all belongs to you. And we really want to request our people to buy these houses. Currently, when we do audit, we realize there is quite a number of people from outside ELDORET, from outside Wasingishu, who have expressed interest to buy those units. When you look at those who have registered now to own those houses, more come from outside than those that are coming from Wasingishu. I think Beatrice and my team, we will have to go around, sensitize people, do an outreach to encourage our people to own these units. So in Pioneer, we have 2,108. And AMS is in opposite University of ELDORET, Chepkoilel. So there are 215 units coming up. And the project's period is usually 18 months. So within 18 months from now, those units will be complete, 215. And then we have in Kidiwa, which is coming up very fast. And we like the framework in Kidiwa. Thank you so much, the team from Kidiwa. You know, the framework they are using, ensuring that the people who do work, the labor in that place, come from the community. So I think we'll borrow much from what you are doing, because you own it. Those people in Kidiwa have owned that project. It belongs to them. It is theirs. And I'm happy they're even advertising. They are telling us, just come and buy these houses. It belongs to them. So let us have that sense of ownership. These houses belong to us. And that is Kidiwa. Kidiwa is 220 units. And then we have Railway City, a very magnificent one, because it is closer to the city. I think if we'll get time, we'll project how it will look like. The Railway City is just across here. We have 2,200 units at the Railway City, 2,200. The price will remain the same. There is no difference. You know, if you buy a house in Kapsuswa and you buy here in town, it is the same price. So 2,200 units. Now, there is, I think that is for Railway City, is it? Yes. Just across here. These units is coming up. Within 18 months from now, because they have just started, those units, that very beautiful building will just be up, just across here. Those are their designs. And then in Kidiwa and Kidiwa 2, people from Kidiwa, something very big is coming to Kidiwa again. Kidiwa 2. Kidiwa 2, we are doing 2,700 units. It is a Kenya shilling 7 billion project, which I think they'll advertise next week. So you can imagine we have 220 in Kidiwa, and it is creating a lot of impact. So you can imagine how 2,700 will be. So Kidiwa is coming up probably next week. And then we have another, Lumumba. Lumumba is also coming up. I think they'll advertise any time this month. Lumumba is at Daima Towers. You know the Daima Towers, the tallest building. There is a parcel of land that belongs to the government. It has already been designed, and it is that one is G plus 24. G plus 24 means ground plus 24 floors up. So it is 3,000 units that is coming up. So when you do audits in ELDORET, the only city that has been given more allocation of units in housing is ELDORET. Nairobi, and then ELDORET. You are just number 2. So there's a lot of blessings. A lot of good things is coming to ELDORET. So otherwise, that is about housing. We have issues of also urban management, urban development and urban management. I know the Chuakali people and business community, we are there to support you. In terms of approvals, that just as His Excellency Governor have said, it's not something that should be very complicated to you. Some people tend to think it is a very complicated process. It's very simple, very cheap, and it does not cost a lot of money. We realize there are people who are coding developers on process of approval. Approval is very easy. It takes only 1 week. And if you get somebody taking you round and round and round, huyo mtu ni mkora. Because our procedures will take only about 1 week. And it does not cost a lot of money. It is very simple. Sometimes people are told to pay 50,000, and yet the money that we charge as a county is only 5,000. So those people that you send, wale watu ambao wanachorewa manyumba, and telling you that this house will cost this much to do approvals from the county government, they are lying to you. Sometimes they tell you the procedure of approval is 100,000. And when you get to us, they'll just come and pay 10,000. So can you draw your plan? Use your own architect. Just bring it by yourself. Do an application at the office, and you pay just the money that you're supposed to pay. We have also realized there are some surveillance team harassing people around. In terms of hii nyumba umechenga bila approval, hakuna whatever, please. Most of them, 90%, are conmen, ni wakora. Kari yetu inatembea ni KBU 667T. Just sensitize to, and I think we are just going to put it on social media. Kari yetu inatembea na maaskari. Those are the surveillance team on development control. Is KBU 667T, green number plates. Hiyo ndio gari yetu. Tumesikia kuna magari zingine zinatembea na wanarasu watu wanamwambia mtu lete pesa ati hujajenga hapa vizuri. So please, and those are also very simple things. When those people come to you, even if it is officers from the county government, can you tell them, yes, I have not complied, but then give me time. I come to the office, I make compliance. I regularize the problem that I have. We allow that. If in case you build a house without approval, please come to us. Tell us you have made a mistake. Please regularize this for me, and we'll do that for you free, without paying any charges. Otherwise, as a department, we really want to support you. Our office is in Arthi House. We have able officers who can support you to do your business without any harassment at all. So at that point, because of time, Chairman and the keynote speaker and the team, allow me to usher in only 2 minutes, two very critical officers in our department who will from time to time be supporting you. We have Beatrice. Beatrice Menjo is the Director Housing. She is the one keeping all these records, and she has all the details of the upcoming affordable houses that are coming, and she has all the procedures of acquiring those houses. It is very simple, it is very cheap. Please let us buy these houses. Let us not let it go. Let it be that by the time it will be complete, 90% ownership should be people from Wasingishu, should be people from ELDORET. So let me give it to Beatrice, and then Koech. Koech is the Director of Fiscal Planning. He's been a very critical player in all these things that we do in town. So he's the one doing the process of approval. Any development control, any approval of any plan, we have Koech. I've seen Sang here. I don't know if Sang is still around. Yeah, Sang is also working with us in the housing department. He also has all the records and all the details about affordable housing and the houses that we also have as a county. So Beatrice, and then you can give it to Koech. Otherwise, thank you so much, and thank you so much, Nicholas. Thank you so much, Dadu. It has been a pleasure, and it has really opened up our eyes, and we are now getting up towards the major event that is coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Chief. All delegates present, our chief guest, Dadu. Good afternoon once again. As you've been told, my name is Beatrice Menjo. I'm the Director for Housing in the Department of Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development. And as our Chief has said, our department mainly deals with matters housing. And at the moment, our main focus is the affordable housing program that is being spearheaded by His Excellency, our President. The other day we had a celebration, and the main theme of the celebration was affordable housing. And maybe to ask, how many people have registered to buy the affordable housing units? By show of hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people out of, I can see we are almost 200 people. What percentage is that? What percentage is that? It's around 1%. And it's sad that only less than 1% people in this room. This is actually a representation of the entire county. And it is sad that only 1% out of all of us have registered for to buy the affordable housing units. The affordable housing units are accessible. And the rate at the uptake is very high. People are buying these houses. People are booking the affordable housing units in Uasin Gishu County. The uptake in Kidiwa, as we speak, is around 60%. 60%. And one thing about affordable housing website is they don't lock houses for Uasin Gishu only. Anybody from any part of this country can buy those houses. Not even country, even internationally. So if we don't buy, other people will. And at the end of the day, we will remain asking ourselves questions. What happened? Why didn't we buy when they were being sold? I wish to ensure that by the time we leave this hall, all of you will have registered. Registration is only 200 shillings. How many people have the e-citizen account? All of you. Just give me 1 minute. Kindly go to your e-citizen account now, if possible. In the e-citizen account, there are several services provided in the e-citizen account, your e-citizen account. We have KRA, we have immigration. If you scroll down, you will find Boma Yangu. When you go to Boma Yangu, it will prompt you whether you want to register or you want to log in. Because you have not registered, most of you, just press register now. You put your details, your name, your ID number, the county you come from, and you'll be prompted to pay 200 shillings. And you will have registered for Boma Yangu. After registration, you go to the next step of saving. The good thing about the affordable housing program is you keep saving until you reach the amount that is mandatory for you to acquire a house. You can be saving 1,000 shillings, 500 shillings, 10,000 shillings. We have people who have paid the entire amount for the unit they want. A studio house goes for 960,000. And you are supposed to have paid 10% of the value of that house by the time the houses are complete. And you can get in to that house once you have paid the 10% and pay the rest in 30 years. So that means you'll be paying something like, I think 2,000 shillings every month until you complete paying for that house. So we have studios, we have 1 bedroom going for 1.5. So that means by the time the houses are complete, you should have saved how much? 10% of 1.5 is 150. 2 bedroom is 2.5, 3 bedroom is 3.5. So once you have 350,000, then you can acquire a 3-bedroom house and the rest you pay in installments. I think it has been projected there. Those are the units, the sizes, and the number of units, the sizes of the houses and what they cost. So if for a social house, there's a difference between a social house, affordable house, and a market housing. Social houses are the houses that share common areas. That's why they are called social houses. They can share bathrooms, they can share washing areas, they can share hanging lines. But for affordable housing, you have your own bathroom, self-contained. Tunaelewana? And then for the market price, they are sold at the market price because maybe the finishing is quality, the sizes are bigger. That is why they are called market price. So it's up to you to choose which one. Do you want a social house? Do you want an affordable house? Or do you want the market house? So when you go to the sizes, let's go back to the amount of money that you're supposed to pay. Yes, thank you. So when you look at this table, a social house, 1 room, you're supposed to pay 3,200 monthly until you complete paying. But you first have to pay the 10% deposit for that house so that you book it. Then we go to the 2-room is 4,800, 3-room is 6,400. That is for the social housing. For the affordable, a studio goes for 960,000. So it means you pay 5,200 monthly. For a 2-bedroom, you pay 10,400. 3-bedroom, you pay 15,000. For the market price, 2-bedroom, you pay 31,000. 3-bedroom, you pay 41,800. And I want to throw a question to you. I know we have people who have stayed in rental houses for as long as they remember. 10 years, 20 years, and you have paid millions to the landlords. This is an opportunity for you to rent the house and own it. If you have rented a house for 10 years, does it belong to you? It doesn't belong to you. The landlord will one day come and take the house. But for affordable housing, you will be paying the amount you used to pay for rent, and at the same time, you own that house. Once you complete paying for the house, you are given a title through the sectional property. So I want to urge all of us, kindly visit our offices for more information. Let's meet during the expo so that we give you more information about how to own these affordable housing units. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my colleague, Director Beatrice. I think I'll try to be as brief as possible, and I'll be focusing on issues, urban planning, and the issues that we have in urban development. Remember, most of the speakers have talked about how we access these affordable housing units. We have talked about the procedures of approving plans. We have talked about the requirements from the professional bodies. But remember, before we put up these houses, there was an input of the physical planner in preparing the development plans that are required. Now, physical planning is purely about organizing urban areas. It's purely about providing services and the locations. And what we do as a county department of lands, housing, physical planning and urban development is about organizing our urban areas. So that as these houses are coming into place, we have provided roads, we have provided sewer, we have provided all the support amenities. We had a presentation from someone from Kenya Power, and we really need to provide as physical planners areas whereby this energy will be supplied through. Now remember, our city recently was given a charter, and we were facing some problems in the past whereby our town was declining in terms of vibrancy. So we prepared a plan which is called a regeneration plan for the town of Eldoret for purposes of ensuring that businesses are coming in, building units are being brought in so that we can have a vibrant city. So what we are calling the Eldoret CBD regeneration plan, we had a vision of ensuring we have a vibrant, livable, functional, diverse and green center within our city. Now the issues are, if you walk around town past 9, you realize like the town is dying. No one is walking around town. The shops have been closed down. So the regeneration plan was looking at issues of ensuring that the town will be vibrant within 24 hours. There was also an issue of accessibility to affordable housing within neighborhoods. Remember, we have neighborhoods like Kapsoya, we have talked about Kidiwa, Pioneer, and the building units which are coming in are based on the regeneration plans that we had. Also the issue of commercial areas. Remember, our market was experiencing a challenge whereby the stalls were not sufficient. And through this plan, that is why we currently have a multi-story state-of-the-art market within the CBD. Remember also, our town is very unique. We have a river crossing at the center of it. So the regeneration plan looks at ways of ensuring that we utilize these assets of River Sosiani. Now, the population is running away from town. Remember, Wasingishu is facing a challenge whereby people are moving away. We are encroaching into agricultural land. And I remember 2 weeks ago when His Excellency the President was around in Moiben, he talked about issues of encroachment into agricultural land. So the regeneration plan looks at mechanisms of ensuring that we maximize on the potential that we have within town. So it looks at repopulating. Remember, business is about human traffic. So we are looking at mechanisms of bringing people closer to town, and that is why we have affordable housing, and that is why we are putting up stadiums, we are putting up recreation areas for purposes of ensuring living within town is quite nice. Now, also the issue of the economy. Under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, we have the export processing zone for purposes of creating more employment opportunities within Eldoret. And that is why we have that land within Cherunya, which is currently being constructed for purposes of export processing for enhancing economic competitiveness. Now, there is a challenge of traffic. All of us will agree with that. Remember, as we are putting up this affordable housing, we will need to control traffic going towards these housing units and also coming out of there, heading to employment areas and also going to recreation areas. And within our proposal, we are looking at how to enhance flow of traffic. And one of the mechanisms from the planning perspective is what we are calling mass transit. We have bus rapid transit, which are purely big buses which will be operating within town. This is to minimize the number of vehicles which are coming to town and to ensure that traffic flows seamlessly. We also have the bypasses which are coming up, the southern one which is already done. The northern one is currently being designed for purposes of decongesting the central business district. Now remember the issue of the environment and the advantages that we have with River Sosiani. That is why we have a potential of looking at the image of our city. The county government has already utilized the Arboretum, that is the Kenya forest land, for purposes of recreation. But now we are focusing our sight on River Sosiani to ensure that we have a very beautiful city. For example, the City of London has River Thames, which is being utilized for transportation and recreation. So we are looking at a similar thing to ensure that we maximize on that potential of River Sosiani. Greening approaches, I think in the past 3 months, you have seen that we have planted many trees within the central business district. This is to ensure that we have carbon sinks and at the same time maximize on the beauty of those trees. We have talked about affordability of housing, but also we are talking about greenhouses. When we are designing these houses, we need to provide areas of ventilation. We need to provide maximum utility for the green energy, which is sunlight. And that is why in our approval process, these are some of the things that we are checking to ensure that your building can be lit naturally as opposed to utilizing electricity throughout. So maybe for the interest of time, I don't want to delve so much into, the presentation is quite lengthy. That is an impression of the market that was given to His Excellency the President, and he gave a tick to it. Initially, we just gave him as a sketch. Our Excellency Governor gave this sketch to the President, and this is what we got as a basis of constructing the current market. It is not the actual design, but remember, the concept is what we have here. Now, there are some issues that we need to focus on the issues of road networks. Remember, we have been facing a challenge of encroachment into these spaces. So we are encouraging you people in the built industry, ensure we protect our road networks, especially from issues of encroachment. Remember, these are where we are putting our electricity, our fiber optic, and our footpaths. So if there is any encroachment along the road networks, it means that ultimately we will not have free flow of traffic. I've talked about the southern bypass. We now have the western and eastern bypass, which is under design. And then also, we are creating extra roads within town for purposes of offloading traffic that we might be going into the major corridors. That is Uganda Road and Kisumu Road, Iten Road, and Nairobi Road. So we are looking at alternative routes. If you are coming from, for example, you are coming from Langas, does it mean that you come to town, then you go towards Nairobi Road? That is not a best design. We need to provide alternative routes so that you can get a link to Nairobi Road without coming into Central Business District. Now, in terms of transportation, when we look at Uganda Road, this is basically a design of what we are looking at. Provision of street lighting is one of our mandates, and ensuring that we provide footpaths for those who will be utilizing these roads. Now, there's another project which is currently ongoing within Eldoret Central Business District, and we are talking about smart traffic management system. Those are what we are calling the traffic lights. If you walk around major junctions in town, we have already set the bases, and coming in very soon are those traffic lights. I know many people have had concerns why we don't have such, but already the county government has invested in that, and in maybe a few months' time, we will have smart traffic lights, which will actually look at, it will calculate the number of vehicles coming in and use that as a basis of opening up traffic for purposes of minimizing congestions. Issues of parking is also a challenge, and I think this will be an appeal to property owners within town, especially those ones who have idle land. The county government is looking at it as a potential whereby we can put up parking spaces for purposes of accommodating the increasing traffic within town. So kindly allow me to stop there, Chief, because I think time is not on our side. Asante sana. Be blessed.
Thank you very much. One more time, let's appreciate the Department of Housing and Urban Development, led by the Chief Officer present with us here. Waziri was here earlier on, and I think now we've really gotten to know the part that the county government plays, especially the department, in terms of building and construction within the city and in the rural. At this point now, we still have only 2 more speakers, and these are very key. Mr. Chair, people usually, pale mtaani, unajua mimi ni mtu wa kuingia mitaa, wanaulizanga, hii affordable housing, what is the future of this thing? What if Ruto akienda, what happens thereafter? We have somebody who is going to answer this question here today. so that it demystifies all the doubts that we have and the questions around the affordable housing program. Somebody who is going to really enlighten us on enhancing affordable housing program for future sustainability. And this is none other than the chairman was in Gishu County Rural and Urban Committee on Affordable Housing. Let's give a round of applause to Mr. Willy Kwambai. Karibu, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, MC Max. My name, as mentioned, is Willy Kwambai. I am the chairperson, Affordable Housing, Uasin Gishu, Rural and Urban. First, I want to thank you all for being very patient and for having come to listen to us. First and foremost, I want to introduce members of my committee. And please come forward. That should be, we have one who is not here, and that is the CEC. Chief. So maybe each one of you will introduce yourself. Maybe we can move closer to the back. I think they are not seeing you. Yeah, you can introduce yourselves and pass on the mic.
Good afternoon. My name's Samson Odhiambo, practicing land surveyor and a member of Rural and Urban Affordable Housing Committee, Uasin Gishu County. So welcome and feel appreciated. Maybe I don't have time to talk, but just an introduction. Thank you.
So good afternoon. My name is Nicholas Meli. I'm a member of this committee. Thank you.
Good afternoon once more. I'm Viola Kuzge, a member of this committee. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Julius Koech, Chief of Housing and Urban Development, member to this committee, and the secretary to the committee. Thank you.
There is one more member, that is the CEC Lands. He left earlier on. Now, Honorable Commissioner Karisa Dadu, all distinguished guests and esteemed stakeholders. It is both an honor and a privilege to address this distinguished gathering today as chairman of Affordable Housing. In July of 2024, in accordance with the Affordable Act, the governor appointed my committee for purposes of implementation of the Affordable Housing Program in his administration. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to His Excellency, the Governor, placing his trust in this committee, and we are deeply committed in fulfilling the vision that was set for this program, and we look forward to working together to bring lasting impact to our communities. The committee's primary mandate is to facilitate the development and delivery of affordable housing solutions for the people of Uasin Gishu County. This includes identifying suitable land, ensuring efficient planning and coordination of housing projects, addressing the legal and regulatory frameworks, and managing the construction process to meet the needs of low and middle-income households. We are focused on ensuring the success of this program by prioritizing efficient resource allocations, fostering strong partnerships with both the public and private sector stakeholders, and embedding sustainability and inclusivity in every project. The Jua Kali sector and the stakeholders in the build and construction industry play a significant role in this process. There is something I normally like talking about wherever I go and get an opportunity to discuss in forums like this. I happen to have studied in India. And I had the Indian economy, especially the motor industry, was developed by the Jua Kali sector. There it is called the cottage industry. Now, what the Indians did, and you can see there are vehicles being driven around here. What the Indians did in their motor industry, they harnessed the potential that they found in cottage industries and applied it effectively in the motor industry. Now, their way of doing it was so simplistic, but it has produced results which we can see. I don't know whether anyone is old enough to remember a model of a vehicle called Peugeot 403 or Fiat 127. Those vehicles now are obsolete. They are no longer on our roads. The manufacturers had no use for them. And the Indians realized that they had an opportunity to develop their own motor vehicles using these obsolete vehicles. So what they did is they bought manufacturing rights, exclusive manufacturing rights to these engines. And once you have an engine, you have a vehicle. Because the biggest problem we have is the production of that engine. So having bought exclusive rights to manufacture engines from Peugeot, they took over the ownership of the 403 engine and produced it in India. They also took over ownership of the Fiat 127 and called it a Padmini. The Peugeot 403, they call it the Ambassador. That was their classic Mercedes vehicle, which even the Prime Minister uses at the time. That's long in the 80s, but now they have improved. Their vehicles have really improved. Now, the Jua Kali sector there, which they of course call the cottage industry, were tasked with developing the panels of these vehicles. The vehicles looked ramshackle, yes, but it is their product. But bit by bit, the Indian motor industry grew to what it is today. The trucks that we are using here, the Tata trucks, are actually Mercedes 1818. They bought the manufacturing rights from Mercedes and mass-produced those engines and asked their Jua Kali sector to panel. I recall while in college, some of those trucks that I used to see running around had wooden panels covering the body. But now you've seen the Tatas that are importing, they come from India. That is just a few years back. So what am I saying here? The Jua Kali sector can play a similar role. Let us first start. And this idea by His Excellency the President to rope in the Jua Kali sector in affordable housing program is very good. But we have this imagination, or every time we talk about the Jua Kali sector, we only think about windows, doors. No. And that is why that is why we have this forum today. We have called the financiers. We want to build capacity for the Jua Kali sector so that not only do they, and I believe I'm answering a question which somebody earlier on brought up, that they lack the capacity to mass produce or to act in certain sectors. You see, we should think beyond producing those windows, and this is my challenge to the Juakali sector. You should think beyond producing those window panels and the doors, and carpenters making doors. Let us also now build capacity, now that you've been welcomed into the industry, to also get into the build and construction industry. So this Juakali Expo conference presents an invaluable opportunity for all key players within the building and construction industry to come together. This includes planners who have already spoken here, architects, surveyors, product manufacturers, real estate professionals, media, Gen Z innovators, and estate managers. Together we have the power to address the complex challenges of affordable housing and make meaningful strides toward creating solutions that benefit every citizen. Affordable housing is about much more than just physical structures we build. It is about creating vibrant, sustainable communities where every individual, regardless of their background, can access safe, decent, and affordable homes. This conference is an important platform to explore how each of us as stakeholders can contribute to this shared vision and collaborate toward achieving real and lasting change in the housing sector. On behalf of the Affordable Housing Committee, we are excited and confirm our participation in the Juakali Jenga Expo, which will take place from the 3rd to the 6th of December. This event will provide us with a chance to engage. Let us go out there and ask everybody to attend this conference. It is very, very important. And let us just look at affordable housing. There are so many opportunities that we can get out of it. Yeah, in another forum where we are having a discussion, of which even the governor is now aware, we, through a private initiative, we are looking at creating an opportunity for citizens of Eldoret, Wasingishu, Eldoret City, to come together in probably a symposium. Let's sit down together now that we are a city and ask ourselves, what can we do for this city? What can we do? You know, we were conferred city status the other day, yes. But Sosiani River is still flowing from east to west. It hasn't changed, has it not? It's still the same. But can we make a difference as residents and people born in Eldoret? Can we make a change? Can we sit together and ask ourselves, you know, we are the real investors here. My friends, some of whom I have invited here, I grew up, went to school here. Bidaiga and I went to UG High School here, long time ago. But we are now investors in this town. And we have no intention of living here for generations to come, because our children and grandchildren are going to be here. We are the first investors. Can we bring those people, including people who have come in lately? Can we sit down and ask ourselves, and let us take time, even if it takes a week or 2 weeks, to sit down and plan, and at the end of the exercise, come up with a master plan, be it a 5-year or 10-year or even 50-year master plan for Eldoret City, for purposes. You see, Nairobi is already too congested, extremely congested, and people are still moving there. Yet we have open space here. Can we find a way of attracting all those investors to come here? Because we have about 154 square miles of free space. That is my challenge to this forum. So can we meet on the 3rd to 6th in this expo, and also explore opportunities for the future? Like I said, this event will provide us with the chance to engage directly with potential buyers and developers and gain valuable feedback on how our products and their products can perform in affordable housing projects. This kind of interaction promotes innovation, allowing manufacturers, architects, and developers to co-create solutions tailored to the unique challenges we face in the affordable housing sector. Affordable housing plays a transformative role in driving both economic and social development in Uasin Gishu County. For instance, affordable housing projects not only provide homes, but also create significant employment opportunities. We have been told by Miriam here how affordable housing has transformed her life. What she didn't mention is that she has applied for these houses, one of the houses here, and she has paid fully. She's just awaiting allocation. It creates employment opportunities from construction jobs to long-term property management roles, driving economic growth and reducing unemployment. Projects like Kidiwa and Pioneer Developments have already provided our youth with the opportunity to actively participate in construction activities, gaining valuable skills and experience that will benefit them for years to come. As we all know, Uasin Gishu County was granted city status just a few months ago. This milestone emphasizes the importance of well-planned, sustainable, affordable housing projects which can attract new businesses and investments to our region. Furthermore, these housing projects will stimulate the growth of other essential infrastructure, such as roads, schools, and healthcare facilities. By the way, as we are constructing affordable housing, we also are also planning and develop programs for social infrastructure associated with those houses. So I don't want to take my time. I have spoken quite a lot, but I would like to mention something about a concern that I know most of us also saw when one of Beatrice here, one of our director, asked us whether we have applied for these houses. Perhaps most of us are not aware. Maybe there has not been proper sensitization. So I want to assure this forum and by extension everybody in ELDORET that we are very soon going to roll out a sensitization program that will educate our citizens on how to acquire these houses, and maybe even go to the extent where we have site offices so that it is easier as someone goes to visit the houses, they also fill in the forms there and ask all the queries that are related to acquiring an affordable house. On the same token also, as the houses like the Kidiwa one, for example, the model houses are complete. So arrangements can be made with the housing department for viewing. We haven't furnished them, but we intend to have them furnished so that it looks, someone can appreciate the size of the house. When you know when a house is fully, a model house is ideally supposed to be furnished so that you can appreciate the sizes of the house. So that is something we're going to do. While I was seated here, I also thought, and someone had asked me before I came here about the water issues. So I've just mentioned that associated social infrastructure is a process that is also ongoing. So if there are water issues, those are things that are also will accompany the completion of these houses. So whatever problems are associated with the utility problems that we are experiencing or are existing currently will be a thing of the past once those houses are complete. Without much ado, I would like to invite our chief guest for the day. He is a very, very prominent personality in the build industry. He is a planner. He's an architect. He is also a commissioner for, thank you. Permit me to read your to give out your profile. He's also a commissioner for the recently appointed board, Nairobi River. His name is none other than Mr. Charles Karisa Dadu. He's a registered architect and physical planner. He holds a Bachelor of Degree in Architecture and a Master of Arts in Planning from the University of Nairobi. He is a corporate member of the Architectural Association of Kenya. Mr. Dadu, Planner Dadu has over, or rather Planner Honorable Dadu has over 20 years experience spanning the field of architecture, planning, land use, human settlement, and the built environment in general. As an architect and planner, Mr. Dadu's career features private practice research, academia, and public service. His interests lie in environmental resilience, green spatial practices, site and neighborhood planning, policy formulation, implementation, and organizational systems in building and strengthening. Now, we are very lucky to have him here. We have Rivers Ocean, which I've just talked about. We hope Commissioner Dadu here will offer us with a solution. Please, a big round of applause to our keynote speaker.
Well, let's be seated. I'm surprised my bio would take more than a minute to introduce. Chairman of the Affordable Housing Committee, Chief Officer plus your entire team, the leadership of Shangwe, Juakali, any other organization that is seated here with us that I may not mention. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Jambo. I know it's been a long day, but wacha tumalize tu, sindio? I can assure you in another 25 minutes, we'll be giving our vote of thanks. Reason being, I am still here with you people. Whoever called me, they also requested that we work together. And I have no reason to say no. So I will not finish everything today. Okay? Sio ni sawa? Anyone who does not understand Kiswahili at all, because I would wish to mix the languages. Right, so I think we are good to go. So in case you didn't hear the chairman clearly, my name is Charles Dadu Karisa. People like interchanging the last two. So when you say Charles Karisa Dadu, you are referring to my son. Yeah? When you say Dadu Karisa, you are referring to me. Karisa Dadu is my son. Okay? But it's no big deal. Like he correctly said, architect, urban planner, but also lately, commissioner, Nairobi Rivers. And I am there with one very pleasant lady called Rael Lelei. Wangapi wanamjua Lelei? Yes, we are with Lelei, and she has hit the road running already. We had a meeting. You saw me seated at the corner earlier in the morning. We had a meeting, so I had to join virtually. So everyone actually hit the road running. And maybe sometime we will also come to this city and get to see what you are doing with the river and how we can then exchange ideas. I'm glad to say that I arrived here yesterday morning. And by that time, I just knew one person in this city by the name Daniel Koech, your director here. We have a long history with him because I taught him at the university before he proceeded to Rwanda. When he came back, we served in a task force, a ministerial task force on urban reengineering. So that was our reunion. And it seems we will be with him quite a bit. And I'm glad about the good work he's doing here. When he succeeds, he validates us, si ndio? Kama mwanafunzi succeed, mwalimu pia anasikia furaha. Yes, so tumpigie makofi kijana. He is an asset, I can tell you for free. When we were seated there, the governor whispered that he would wish one day we just come and discuss matters to do with the city of Eldoret and its management and all that. And I told him, the burden is with the 3 people. Chief officer is here, directors are here, okay? So I threw the ball to them. When it is time, we will come and engage. Now back to today's event. I was called about a week ago regarding this event, and I was not very sure I should come because of how controversial sometimes the housing, affordable housing agenda can get. I know we all know that, sindio? Na saa ingine ni sababu ya miscommunication. Maybe it has not been explained well. But when I heard there's something jua kali in it, I said, I am coming. Okay? So the jua kali thing was the game changer because everybody has asked, the main blueprint for this government is bottom up, sindio? Tunasema bottom up economic transformation agenda. But the bottom has not been visible for quite a long time. And the policy makers like us have been asking, where is the bottom? When we go to engage, we meet the people who really can buy these houses at market rate. Okay? Yet there's a lot of research that has gone into play on how other countries have helped their low-income communities become either homeowners or afford housing. Najua kitu kimoja tusisitizi hapa ni kuwa hii affordable housing, it is not a must that you buy a house, isn't it? We can also talk of affordable rental prices. Sindio? Yeah, many times we are preoccupied with the buying, but it doesn't have to be about buying. It is about you being able to pay your monthly rent comfortably. So that when you worry about things, you are worrying about any other thing but not your rent. Then we can say that is still an aspect of affordable housing. Now today is a special day, and the timing of this event cannot be better than today. And I'm glad because this is like a rehearsal. So we were here. One big assignment was to see where are we succeeding towards the main event and where do we still have challenges. Tumeelewa hapo, si ndio? Kwa hivyo kama kuna makosa madogo madogo yalifanyika, it's totally okay. That was the whole purpose of today's event. Okay? We even knew we would come here and find maybe the hall is only 10% full. That was still going to be okay for purposes of today. We would be happy with that today than on the 3rd. And because we started with a radio show in the morning with the chairman of the Jua Kali, we were here very early. I think by 8:15 we were here. And definitely the place was empty. But we didn't panic. Yeah, we didn't panic. I just receded to my corner and logged into the meeting. We knew people will still come. And indeed, people came. Now, what has made me most happy today is that I have witnessed the highest recognition citizens of a county can ever get. And that is your governor to honor you. See, he came here for Jua Kali people, isn't it? Yeah? Since you were secondary. And that's why even when we got to the tea place, I really didn't bother to go sit with the governor because I knew you are my guest, Sindio. So it took twice. The second time I couldn't resist. Ambiwa, no, you have to move to the governor's table. Otherwise, I think I was happy mingling with my people. I have done a lot of work in the informal settlements. And that is one of the reasons why I got the appointment to the Nairobi Rivers Commission, because there are very complicated matters there when you deal with informal settlements. Those are areas where you have a lot of human rights people running programs there. Si mnajua? Yeah? So, unaweza fika kule, uone mtu ametengeneza ile kimeza ya miti. Jioni anakuja kuuza samaki kwa kile kimeza ya na wewe upitie pale useme, we can remove this because it's temporary. Do you know you'll be taken to court? Na ile story utasikia kotini kuhusu kile kimeza cha miti, utaamini ndio kile uliona huko. Yeah? So you need to treat carefully. Every other thing matters there. Now we don't want to go the route of demolitions that happened then. We want to move with the people. We want to document them as they are. Then we begin to reorganize those settlements with them. So that whoever refuses to do that, it will also be in record that we called you to work with us to reorganize this place, but you declined. Sindio? So huyo tena hatawezi kukimbia aende mahali kwingine. Now, how special is today? As we sit here, the world is also sitting in Egypt for the World Urban Forum. Na hili ni kongamano walinafanyika ulimwengu mzima, watu wanakuja mahali. Nairobi, we have hosted it once. So this time is back to Africa. Na iko Cairo, Egypt. So they are sitting. We are also doing what? We are sitting. So I look at this as an extension of what is happening there. The other special thing is because of the conferment of Eldoret as a city. Getting that city charter is not a small thing. And you see, the chairman asked something here that you were conferred as a city, but it seems it's business as usual. The river still flows from east to west. But with this now, is it business as usual? No. We are saying now, us being a city, we have gotten more reason to engage as city residents to see how we can become, and I like the governor, he threw the challenge to us. Why do we want to look like villagers when we are city residents? So the journey starts with activities like this, positioning ourselves strategically. The other thing is what we call the new urban agenda. This is a new philosophy about the growth of cities that deals with inclusiveness and leaving no one behind. Sindio? So mara nyingi utapata wale wanaishi kwa slums, watu wa jua kali, those are very peripheral. They are the others within the city. And the new urban agenda says it cannot be like that anymore. So we don't leave anyone behind. So this is a very high level. I'm happy because it's a very high level engagement. The CEO for the county was here, and it is about people who for a long time have been seen as peripheral. Do you know, Juakali people, you do so much, you generate so much, but do you know you don't even enter the official statistics? Do you know that? When people calculate GDP, awoni pale informal sector ikificha sana. And you know, when you don't get into these baseline reports, the economic reports that government appear, then even in terms of budget, you don't get. Sindio? Because you are not there in the baseline reports. Why should you be awarded money? But again, we are saying that is changing. Okay? Now, lastly, I am glad because there's a new awakening to all this housing agenda. Now we are looking at it holistically. And that's why there are people from finance here. We've had lawyers here. Yeah? We are looking at it now holistically. I think that's the right way to go. And if you look at it that way, there will be value addition in the end. I have been tasked to do 3 things, and I will do them briefly. And as I head towards the end of my presentation, it will get more relevant to you. So I will start with the general ones, then I end up with the specific ones to your Kali people. The first assignment, when I got a phone call from Daniel, was to help a team here to visualize an expo and how to make it successful. A lot of work had already gone into it, but they thought, why don't you listen to us and give us 1 or 2 ideas whether we are on the right track? So as I sat here in this forum, that was one of my assignments. Observing, seeing whether there are things we are getting right, whether there are things we are not getting right. And I want you people to succeed, honestly. And succeeding with exposition, you must think from end to end. And there are usually 3 segments there. There is the pre-expo period. That is where we are now, okay? The day is not here, but we know it's about. And I will read a few bullets so that we are together. When you see the organizers maybe missing the mark, you'll say, but we were reminded we must do 1, 2, 3. So under the pre-expo bit, one of the things you have to do is to choose the right subject for your expo. Like now here, what is our subject? We are not saying the subject is gender-based violence. That might come, but it's not the main subject. Sindio? Tuko kwa affordable housing. Okay? So you choose the right subject plus the venue. Tumesema hii expo itaenda wapi? Itaenda wapi? Yes. Na hiyo ni vizuri tukijua, sababu hata ukipita kule wakati mwingine unaangalia ile venue with the expo in mind. You start asking, hey, how will it work? Are we saying that day we will block the road and set up equipment? Is it that already equipment is there, facilities, and we'll just say that day it matters housing only. So if you are not doing housing, you go. So it is important. The theme of your expo plus the venue of your expo is very important. The next, it comes with a lot of expenses, so think about your budget. I know one of the headaches they are having is budget. But when the idea is good, friends are also many. They will come. You just need to be strategic. People will come and help you with that. So the budget, then you map now your audience. Who is it you want to reach out to? And why are you reaching out to them? And even as we are seated here, we are one group but different audiences, isn't it? The banker is a different audience as you who has maybe a stall out there selling clothes. But we are all here, it's our common agenda. So whoever is organizing, yule anapanga hii kongamano, lazima ajue watu wangu ni watabaka tofauti tofauti. And they must understand the audience very well. Otherwise, then you don't get to realize your objective. So there is that also. Then you come up with the now marketing strategy. How do you want to market your event? Again, that's a headache they have. Maybe they will reach out to you. I will also give them a bit of that. But also, we have to think ahead. How, for instance, are we going to display our things, our information? Are we building booths? Are we having panels and banners like this? So, you know, you have to think ahead. Don't wait for that day for the space to come and surprise you. And I would expect they will even talk to you people. What is it you would want us to, how would you want us to exhibit on that day? If it is KCB or ABSA coming there, what kind of space needs do they have to participate, spatially? Security was here, and they have given a few tips. We have to think through, how do people flow? Are they going to flow one direction from that end like this going? Or you have people mixing all over the place? And when they are mixing, what will be the implication of emergencies? How do we deal with emergencies where circulation is not done well? Wayfinding, where do we put our signage and all that? Amenities like toilets. Do we have permanent ones? Are we doing a mobile toilet? So all those things must be thought through pre the exposition itself. Then now, which people are working with you? You have to get the right people. And not just the right people, but you have to train them so that they internalize what this exposition is all about. Otherwise, people will come ask questions, and your team will not be able to explain nothing to these people. You see how catastrophic that can be. So get the right people, but also go ahead and give them some basic training about that. We've talked about already the marketing, so even what materials you'll use to promote. Leo asubuhi tulikuwa Upendo Radio. Labda baadaye tutaona kabla Prime News, labda kuna trailer pale chini inapita. So how are we promoting this? Okay? Then, many times we ignore two things. One of them is the reason I'm here. Sometimes you need somebody who has walked that path to help you, including content creators. So kuna wasanii huku. Saa ingine unachukua wasanii, unaambia okay, hii idea yangu itaingia vipi huko. Na ujue wasanii, kuna wasanii wale kama sisi umri wetu, kuna wale wadogo. So as you pick, you must know this particular influencer will be more relevant to the youth. So you don't pick those and expect they will mobilize the senior people to come to this place. So you must mix whoever is influencing for your activity. Then do follow up. Don't say, we sent Koech there. Even the CEO, even the governor was here mentioned to the people so they know. Yeah? Si KCB hata amepresent hapa. Yeah? So anajua. No. Between today and that day, we must constantly follow up on those matters. So that is before the conference. There will be the day itself of the conference. I'll go quickly. Design your stands well. Make them attractive. Give people, even when you don't speak, even if they don't stop there, but try to make them slow down at least. Sindio? Yeah? If they stop to engage with you, that's the best. But if they will not stop, at least let them be seen to be interacting with your spaces. So think about your display systems pretty well. The other bit is what we called lead capture. By lead capture, we mean there are people you will meet there, and there will be every reason for you to want to engage them after that. Maybe they are potential customers. Sasa ako pale, anataka kukupatia info yake, hata kalamu hauna. Unakimbia kwa tent ya neighbor kuomba nini? This person has another 50 exhibitions to go to. Atakungojea kweli? No, so we must be prepared. Those small things matter. How do you capture your lead people? So get your team well prepared. If there are diaries, sometimes we are using even IT. Lakini ukienda hii direction, angalia kwanza asubuhi uko na mawe mangapi kwa betri yako, si ndio? Kama uko na baa moja na unakimbia unasema ni IT nitadocument na huna power bank na pale hakuna stima, then you are in trouble. So let's prepare accordingly. Okay? Now demonstrations. There are different kind of demonstrations. Kwa exhibition unaweza kuja na mimi nitachukua kalamu niende kwa whiteboard pale nianze kukuelezea. That's one thing. Or I'll have prepared presentation na zina run kwa screen. Si ndio? Ukija kwa booth yangu zina run pale. Sasa angalia hao watu wawili. On average, maybe by the time the expo is over, I have had like 100 guests. If for every guest who come there, I have to repeat the whole script, at the end of the day, utakuwa umebaki na sauti? Hapana. So be smart. How do you package yourself? Mix. Kuna zile wewe mwenyewe you are best placed to tell them to your clients, but kuna zile unaweza document automated so that they can interact with that. Okay. Then lastly, we've talked about safety and security. That day is very important. So the team, the organization team, together with the security team, must go there maybe a day, at least a day before, and just do a dry run and do simulations. You do scenario, yeah? Should this happen, munaangalia ile space, how will we handle that? Mtu akifaint, ambulance was the closest it can come, haitaingia na pale, without disrupting many things. Then what people ignore is the last part, post-exposition. Kwa hivyo tumekuja kongamano, tumefanya na tumefanikiwa sana. The most obvious thing, maybe chairman wa organization committee na Sonia hapa atasema tuende tukajipatie shukrani. Wasikia? Tuende tukajipatie. They are not even thinking about you who made that event successful. So first and foremost, Sonia, please, if you must thank anyone, start with your clients, okay? You can, just the way we went to the radio, you can go to the radio and just give your thanks back. Use any means to reach there. Hata ule msanii mpatie kitu kidogo tu atengeneze TikTok. Yeah? And you will reach out to the youth and all that. Next time you ask, they will come. But if you behave badly, forget about it. Forget about it. So that is one. The other mistake we do a lot is we don't take stock. We don't do a post-mortem to the event. So we don't measure how much have we succeeded, where have we fallen short. So we must measure. We must take stock and say we were targeting 8,000 guests, we got 6,000. Any explanations to that? Or we expected 5,000, we got 7,000. So kindly measure the output as well. I think that is very important. Now, the other thing I will say, and that's why I said, these expos, you must plan end to end. Meskia hapa, chairman wa Jua Kali ameambia nini umati governor akiwa amekaa pale, ya kuwa hii kongamano linakuja is not a one-off event, si ndio? That will make it a yes. So if you want to go that direction, and it is very good for sustainability, then it means immediately you finish with one, the planning for the next begins. So don't bask in glory saying I had such a successful expo, yet you know in another 1 year, you must take the bar up. So the planning begins immediately. Immediately imefunga, tunafungua planning ya ile ingine. I think that's very, very important. Then how do we disseminate this information? I'm sure Sonia and team are not doing this expo for their own consumption. There's that, of course, but there's a larger good. How does a ABSA get the output about this? So we tell them, we notice that people are calling us about your products. Okay, you need to package this and that. So let's see how we'll disseminate this information. And it has to be an official document. So whether we've seen here media, whether they'll package for you audiovisual things, whether you'll do a report, whether you'll do a newsletter, I don't know. You can use different channels. But many people will want to know what happened to that expo I went to. And if they don't see really what happened, then they start conspiring that you did that and forced the government to come here to endorse you to make money from the public. And that's why you've disappeared on holiday. So before long, make sure you package the information and you release it to the people. Each category of person with the mode that suits them the most. Some are good with print, hard copies. Some prefer digital. So again, get to learn your audience and do it properly. Thank you. Tuachie mambo ya expo pale. Tumesema nini ziko tatu. Ile ya pili, how do we make housing more affordable? I think you would care to know that, isn't it? How do we make it more affordable? I'm sure now that the governor has come here, you are no strangers to him. So indeed, you can even book an appointment to go to the governor, or to go to Waziri, or to go to chief officer or any government official, and present your agitations about affordable housing. And maybe you will say, even after the expo, we don't feel this affordable housing is affordable enough. So shida iko wapi? And what do we do? So that's why I thought we can take time and reflect what are some of those areas we can query affordability. So one of them, it hinges on demands and supply. Trust me. Kama watu hapa kwa hii city wanaweza kujenga manyumba bila shida. Manyumba mengi. Right now, maybe in 3 months you might find tumejenga nyumba, labda tuna roll out kama nyumba 10, 20. But suppose capacity yetu imeenda, tunaweza roll out in a week like 50 houses. Meaning we are pumping more units in the market. Do you know the prices are likely to come down? Sindio? Sababu, wengi wetu hapa, you don't even want like to, now forget about Boma Yangu, it might be some other housing market somewhere. You don't want to bargain so much because you fear, mwingine atakuja, ataacha kubargain, atachukua. Sindio? So kuna ile competition. But the more units we have, that kind of competition also goes down and the prices get better. So one of the ways we will ask ourselves, how do we fast track the production of these units? That's one way. Number 2 is efficient land use. When I was flying in yesterday morning, I saw something that bothered me a bit. Okay, one made me happy, but one bothered me a bit. You people are in a very lush environment, very green. But within that green, you are seeing dispersed houses, some silver roof scattered all over the place. Are you seeing the danger with that? Yeah, the sprawl, the urban sprawl, this uncontrolled growth eating into your rich land of agriculture and all that. So efficient land use comes with planning first and foremost. So watu wa planning wakiwaambia, let's come plan our area, please let's say agree and do that. The other way is to look at policy reform. Are there policies that are making us find difficulties in this housing? It could be taxation. So we want to tell the county government, can you review some of your tax policies, for instance? Sometimes you've seen governors putting advertisements, giving people waivers. Ama tujaona hiyo? Unaambiwa sasa tumekupatia mwezi mmoja, ukija ukilipa rates zako, ile interest yote tunafutilia. Ama mambo ya cess. Kaunti zingine utasikia zimesema kuna happy hour. So ile happy hour, lori yako ikipita pale, you pay half the. Yeah, those are the policies we are talking about. Have our policies tried enough to make housing affordable? Okay? We go quickly. The other bit is what is emerging here. Can we look at housing as an industrial complex? What this means is, let's have everybody else who matters in producing that house be within one location. Sindio? So that tunaweza kusema hapa Eldoret unaweza anza kujenga nyumba mpaka upatie mwenyewe kifunguo bila ya kutoka nje ya Eldoret. Sijui kama tuelewana. Sababu kama ni engineers wako hapa, watu wa simiti wako hapa, watu wa chuma wako hapa, financiers wako hapa, name it. they converge in one location. So that it's not just housing, but it is housing as an industrial complex. And I think the way we are constituted here is possible. We can push that. So what I'll want you as actors to do, try to see, wale watu wanatoa vitu nje, what could be the reasons? Is it about competitive prices? Is it about the quality of those materials? Okay? Because for sure, why would I get a ticket to go to China to bring bathtubs if I can get the same here at a competitive price? Sijui kama tuelewana. So unapima. Nikienda mwenyewe China, sawa nitaipata kule bei nafuu, lakini tikiti, hotel kule, okay. Nikienda nikirudi nitakuwa nimespend so much. Wacha niangalie hapa. Do we have the same? What is the price? Kama zimepishana na 5,000, 3,000, you may want to say no. Hata kama hii imezidi na 3,000, the convenience of me remaining here compensates for the extra money I'm paying. Si tunaelewana? Yes, so we look at that as well. Fund. Najua hii affordable housing iko na fund. But we are not limited to the national fund only. Even at the counties here, we can explore how else to finance housing, either directly or indirectly. Okay, so we look at that bit. Tumepata presentation hapa za financing. I think that is very good. But housing finance is a very complicated thing. Extremely. Sometimes you need people like architects also to come and think with you. How do we get the best deal in housing finance? I will give you an example. An architect anaweza kukwambia sawa, wataka hii nyumba na hauna pesa ya kutosha, hujui utaservice vipi. So nitakudesignia nyumba iko hivi. Aidha kama ni gorofa, wewe mwenyewe tutakuanzisha chini kwanza na room moja na tupeleke ingine juu ya tenant. Tuko pamoja? So munaingia, wewe kile unaweza kupata unalipa, but tenant pia analeta pesa wajumuisha pale. Ama kama ni ya chini, atakwambia mwenyewe utaishi mbele, nyuma tutakufanyia niniza. All those are aspects of trying to figure out financing. So it's a complicated thing. But I want to agree, you must learn to save. Whoever goes to the bank without any savings and the one who goes with the saving, na mmeambiwa hapa 6 months, they monitor you. So saving, let's start encouraging one another into the habits of savings, table bankings and all that. I think that will be very important. Better coordination, I think I don't want to over-expand that. Then, kuna kitu tunaita, one of the things that zinapeleka bei ya nyumba juu, of course, is the cost of land. So there's a concept in housing we call land release. Na hizi ni vitu kinakoechi lazima wawe top notch. How do we release land that can be used for housing, which is trapped by other matters not very important? How do we release that land? So it's either that land is squatted, you need to negotiate with the squatters, see whether you can relocate and have housing go there. Of course, it has its own dynamics. But sometimes, kuna kitu tunaita change of use, the land use policy. Unaweza pata watu wamesema, we have too much land on, say, public purpose. Unapata every other 2 kilometers there's a school. Hiyo school imechukua kama 10 acres. Ukifika pale, shule capacity yake ni 2,000, lakini watoto wako pale ni 200. Are we getting? So you have overprovided those schools. There can be a policy to say we will change land use. We will reduce some of these, rationalize, and change the use for some of those and take to housing. Iyo ni kazi yao. The planners can do that. They can look at this city and see where can we release land. Sometimes you find it's an area which is not serviced. So watu wataki kwenda huko, barabara hakuna, maji hakuna. So the government will say, we will intentionally invest there to make that land usable. That is also land release. So we must look at that also as we proceed. Kitengo cha mwisho, your role now in affordable housing. How do we empower the Juakali people to engage and benefit from housing? And I think a lot also has been said there. But one thing is, tusingoje kuhurumiwa, we must push for policies that deliberately link us to the housing sector, to work in the housing sector. And I am glad our sister here, one of the things ametuonyesha ni kadi ya nini? NCA. Madam, ulipoenda kuanza kuchimba mtaro kule, ulikuwa na hiyo kadi? Hakuwa na hiyo kadi. But you see, that's how we empower ourselves to engage in that. So she can work, depending on the category of the NCA, whatever approval she has, she can work and earn a living from housing. So there must be those policies that are deliberate in terms of linking us to engage in housing. Then we can even push it further to become now suppliers of commodities in the housing. Na hiyo kuna kitu tunaita standardization. Standardization is important. Na many times we have failed before because we've not standardized. Tunasema, tunataka nyumba 500. Kwa zile nyumba 500, utapata kama nyumba 300, kila nyumba iko na design yake ya mlango. Are you getting it? So hata wewe ukipatiwa kazi kama Juakali kuwa tuna hii kazi hapa ya nyumba 300, na katika zile nyumba 300, a whole 200 doors, you'll make each one of them differently. Are you understanding? Compared na ile umeambiwa tuletee milango 300 na yote ni sampuli moja hii, si ndio? Hiyo naenda unaweka kwa module, unachapa within a week. But if you have to do a different piece for each of those 300 units, it's impossible. So that's why we encourage people to standardize. Standardize can allow us to do mass production, and mass production comes with economies of scale. Yule ametengeneza ile milango 300 sampuli moja, ukiangalia imemcost vipi na yule wa 200 tofauti. The one making different doors has spent much more than the one who has done the standards. So that's a thing also we need to be. And I'm glad listening to the mother ministry, they have seen the importance of standardization. So wanawaletea modules, madirisha ni haya, ya choo ni haya, main doors ni hizi, za kitchen ni hizi, and we begin producing. The other bit is value addition. Sijui wengi wetu hapa kama tumeona umuhimu wa vitu kama TVETs. Yeah? Vitu kama TVETs, and whether we make best use of them. There's a place called Weru in Malindi. They have one of the most well-furnished TVETs you can get around. They even have equipment there for automobile engineering. But when you go there, it's like a museum. You walk through, admire the equipment, go. Users hakuna. So we need to change our culture and let's make use of these technical institutions for value addition and capacity building. So as I finish, research and knowledge management. And I will not be surprised kuwa tumengangana sana na ndugu zetu hapa kuona kuwa hii exposition inaweza faulu vipi. Na tuwaomba Maulana tuwezeshe tufaulu. But uweza shangaa ile ingine itakuja sasa mwaka wa 2025, wataanza kuhangaika vile vile ama hata zaidi ya vile wanahangaika saizi. So you ask yourself, I thought you are the same people who mounted a very successful exposition. Why are you in panic now? You seem lost. Akamwambia, sasa hata sijui zile notes tuliweka wapi, sikumbuki sijui. So you see, knowledge management is good, Whatever you do, make sure the records, you have them somewhere you can retrieve, and they can help you in the future. Lastly, is creating demand for housing. Let's push our government to create the demand for housing. That's the only way we can get jobs. Sindio? So if you go there, they might ask for suggestion. How do you think we can increase the demand? I will read you quickly. Even the planning itself can accelerate demand for housing. Kuna kitu inaitwa land value capture. Land value capture is this. Sometimes we improve areas, especially for private people. For instance, tunaweza ingia kwa industries. Serikali inaweza ingia kule, ijenge mabarabara, iwawekee street lights, iwawekee maji. But ukiangalia ile tax wanalipa sahi with the new facilities is still the very old one. So the most progressive countries don't work like that. If there is evidence that we have made you better in terms of your work environment, then we will also negotiate with you that we escalate our tax a bit. As long as it is seen a fair increment, you don't do an overkill. So we are very poor in value addition. Na sio kuwa hii pesa haitoki, saa ingine inatoka lakini is going to the wrong place. Sindio? I'll give you an example. In some countries, when you exceed, say, the zone requirements, kwa mfano wamesema pale nyumba ile ya juu kabisa iende ghorofa 5, na wewe umeenda pale na ghorofa 7, na umejitetea, the government can still allow you. Na sio corruption, it's in their guidelines. Watakwambia sawa, hapa tumeruhusu mwisho 5, umeitisha 7. Sasa kila moja wapo ile zaidi ya 5, tunaongea ile ya 6 na ya 7, utalipa mara 2 ya hizi zingine. Are we together? That is an example of value capture. Now, value capture still happens in this country, only that nobody can account where that extra payment goes. Are we together? It's been a problem, and it's because inafanyika kienyeji. It needs to be documented that the variations that can be done in this place, maximum variation is so much and you'll pay for this much, that kind of thing. So those are things now we can be able to look like. Mwisho kabisa ni kuwa tutoe vikwazo. Why would a developer wait for 2 months to get their approval? And with every day passing, kumbuka labda hii hata ni contract iko. Labda huyu amejipanga amechukua loan. So ana mark time tu na ile loan. With every day you are holding their what? Their approval. So can we look at these barriers which are really not necessary and remove them? Yeah, if we remove these barriers and the process is smooth, indeed we will enhance our what? Our production in housing units. Please, the list is so long, but muniruhusu nikome pale sababu ya wakati. Tumesema bado tuko pamoja, tutaendelea kushauriana. Sivyo? Asanteni sana.
Come on, good people. That one deserves a standing ovation. Naomba usimame na upige makofi to give the keynote speaker a standing ovation. Makofi, makofi, makofi. Continue clapping. Thank you very much, the Honorable Dadu. Thank you very much for the vast experience you've shared with us. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the very tail end of our speakers. And the next person who is coming here is just to move a vote of thanks. And then thereafter, we will give to Africana to guide us on the way we are going to serve lunch, because we've prepared lunch for you. And before the person who will move a vote of thanks comes here, I need to recognize the arrival of a few people who have joined us in the process of the entire conference. We have, you heard earlier on the County Commissioner mention about the Proficient Builders Association. They have joined us, they heeded to the call immediately, and they came, they rushed in here, led by Simon. Proficient Builders Association, are you here? Kindly let's appreciate them. Thank you very much. We have also one of the financiers, Bank of Africa. They joined us as well. Let's appreciate Bank of Africa. Thank you very much. We also have been joined by a team from Nairobi and Wajir as well. We have Basabra Construction Company Limited. Basabra, please, let's appreciate them. Thank you very much. With us also, he's Bwana Hassan Omar, the chairman of Elgon View Residents Association. Let's appreciate Mr. Hassan. Thank you very much. Just to remind you, the chief officer mentioned something very important. Just to remind you, the vehicle that moves around, the certified vehicle that moves around checking on approvals of constructions around the town and outside town is KBU 667T. Any other vehicle, treat them as conmen, treat them as fraudsters. Ama namna gani bwana sio? Yeah, KBU 667T. That is from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Now, without much ado, allow me now, before I bring Mr. Karira to move a vote of thanks, who has honestly learned something new today? Wonderful, let's appreciate that. Who has made a new friend? Who feels like they have made a connection that is going to be helpful in the industry? Beautiful, then it's a success. Let's appreciate that for that. Thank you very much. And now Mr. Karira, kindly come here. Come give us an assurance that it's all systems go for the expo from the 3rd to the 6th of December 2024. Let's appreciate Karira in a special way for that.
What a session. What a session. I feel I am the happiest man right now. I feel like a new groom. When we started this journey, I tell you, I had no idea that we would have this caliber of people sitting for our function as the Juakali sector. Thank you, thank you, and thank you, and thank you again. Bwana Dadu, that was inspirational. In fact, I've written so much, mpaka kalamu yangu imeisha wino. And I am happy that you've said you're with us for the journey. I want to tell the participant of this pre-expo conference that this is indeed a high-value event. As Bwana Dadu has said, when you come to the county, the highest honor that you can receive is recognition by the county executive. And the governor himself was here. So for that, let us just clap for our governor for giving time to the Juakali associations and saying, what were Juakali pia now recognize. So please, let us first of all give a very big hearty clap to our the other thing that you will note, throughout the day, the chief officer here and 2 directors have sat with us throughout. That is another really, really big show of support. We have Bwana Kwambai. Bwana Kwambai, let me tell you, the moment he heard about this event, Bwana Kwambai, you have not left my side. He has been with me morning mpaka jioni for and to add sweetness to that comment, now you have a face that you can see and relate to the affordable housing program within Uasin Gishu, because Bwana Kwambai is the chairman of the committee for Uasin Gishu urban and rural housing. So the questions will be headed towards his side whenever we want to know anything about the affordable housing program. And we pray for you that very soon you will have a beautiful office in town where we can come to. Thank you very much. The other people, I really want them to just come. I cannot speak when they are not with me. The team from Shangwe, please, mkuje hapa. I just want, as I continue with my vote of thanks, I would like that team here with me. And also, I would like to request humbly that Jail and Madam Sonia, they work for the county, but they have been with us throughout planning this team. Please, come. Now, this is the team that has been marketing this event that you are now seated here preparing. Madam Sonia, please, just come. Madam Jail, go happy. Jail, yes. I because of these people, I am. Because of these people, I am. I think in every walk of life, you need a team that you can trust completely. In fact, at one point, they made me feel a little bit useless because they are doing everything. Paka ikafika wakati, wananiambia, chairman, we fanya hii, we fanya hii, we fanya hii. You know, so I really, truly thankful. And in particular, I want to single out Sonia Sanga. This lady, since we started this journey about September, she has been pushing me. Nikiamka usubuhi nakuta list kwa WhatsApp yangu, I want this done. If I don't do it, I will get a phone call, and these are the 2 words she will tell me. Karira iko wapi? Tak. So, Madam Sonia, your organizational skills are truly exceptional. Thank you so much. I also wish to recognize Madam Jail. Her skills as far as editing all the documents. My background is I'm a lawyer, but I was writing things and ananiambia, hii ni nini? Hii full stop inakuanga hapa. But humbly I was saying, okay. Na ananiambia na ukali, hii koma iko hapa. Umesikia? I said, okay. So thank you so much. She's done a lot for us in terms of branding and marketing for this event. When we started this, we developed a concept. And we said that as Eldoret is becoming a city, is a city, we really need to create forums where we can showcase what Eldoret has to offer. I am very happy, Bwana Chief Officer, that the county gave us a platform on the 1st and 2nd of August as we held our first expo then that ushered in the new city. And because of that, they had the confidence to allow us to host this one. So when we developed the concept, in fact, Bwana Chief, when we came to your office, he did not take 5 minutes to understand what we were talking about. And from that moment, Chief, thank you. Thank you. 5 minutes. So thank you so much. He also gave to us able directors to work with us. I remember talking to Director Beatrice. She's very knowledgeable. When it comes to Matters Expo, very knowledgeable. So when we floated the idea of this expo and we said, we want to do a building and construction expo over a period of 2 days, he said, yeah, namna gani? Building and construction industry is a big deal. Because what are we talking about? We are talking about roads, houses, bridges, affordable housing. We are talking about so many things. It has to be over 4 days. And we took her advice. We even agreed with her on the dates. So, Madam Beatrice, thank you so much. Please, let us give Director Beatrice a round of applause. Then, the person who just held our hands and shoved us into the CEO's office, Bwana Koech, we didn't even explain much to him. He said, Kujeni. And Bwana Chief, that day you are going somewhere. And when we came in with Bwana Koech, you stopped. And Bwana Koech gave you a brief. In fact, I think because this idea is so prime and so in time, you took what was in our mind and expanded on it. Back I started writing notes so as to learn now from you when I was the one coming to give you the brief that we had. And from that time, you've really worked with us. You've really directed us to a number of people. In fact, you reached out personally to our chief guest today, and we really, really thank you. So please, a big hand of applause to Bwana Koech. With us, yeah, I think we have somebody from Sudan. Sorry? Yes, oh no, the chairman, yes, I will thank the chairman, but there was somebody else that we were hoping we will get from Sudan. Now, the next vote of thanks goes to our county commissioner. It is not every day that he attends a visitation such as this one, and he came. So I want to thank the county commissioner. I also want to thank Pendo FM and the Catholic Church. They gave us airtime this morning. I've never spoken on radio. It was weird. They had a big microphone hanging over my face. So they kept telling me, "Songea karibu ya microphone." You know, so but it was interesting. So just to get an opportunity to expound on what we intend to do with this expo and this conference. I also want to thank the people who have come here. Absa Bank, Bank of Africa, DTB. I'm telling you guys, thank you. Because you made this the high-profile event that we intended it to be. So please give yourselves a big round of applause. I also want to thank my Juakali, shall I say, compatriots. Asante for that beautiful story, Madam Miriam. That was inspirational. It was nice that she told a real life story of how the affordable housing has changed her life. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Kiambati. Thank you, ndugu yangu. I really feel a lot of love and support from the Juakali sector. I also want to deeply at this moment inform you that our chairman, Juakali Association of Uasin Gishu, came last night, yesterday from Juba, where we had another expo, and he did very well. We've just been informed that Uasin Gishu County at the exhibition at Juba, and it was an East African event, came number 2. Imagine that. So, Bwana Ayot, please just stand up. Bwana Ayot, this man has given himself selflessly. You can imagine traveling from Juba yesterday and sitting in this meeting up to now. So that is the kind of leadership that we have. So I also want to thank all the speakers who have come here, all your attendees. Now, let me tell you, on December 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, we're going to have a major expo. We want to be second only to Nairobi. But in 2025, we want to show Nairobi the way. Tafadhalini, all people who are here, please, book your booths, tujaze hiyo barabara ya Zion Mall, ili wageni wakija. By the way, we'll be having visitors from the Turkish embassy. They've confirmed they will be there. We will be having Kenyans living in the diaspora. They will be joining us virtually and physically, those ones who will be in the country for Christmas. We will have the banks, we will have people in the construction industry, the cement manufacturer, watu wa mabati, Juakali, obviously we will be there. This is our function. We will have the affordable housing program there. We are going to fill out that space. And we are even going to spill over to the space of Central Primary, because we anticipate that we are going to get people who deal with heavy machinery. So we are going to create a very carnival event. Let me tell you, during that time, this thing will be so beautiful. Mtu atajichukia kama atakuwa participant hapo. It is an expo and a trade fair. So that means that we urge people who are doing trading, for example, if you have a hardware, please come with your order book. Because on one hand, what you will do is you will explain what you do, but number two, mtu atakuja hapo aseme ninajenga, utapiga simu kwa hardware useme, unataka simiti ngapi? Gari peleka huko. Do business during that time. So we are not going to be just an expo. For the banks, come with your forms. Come with the background. Watu wafungue account hapo. So that is how we want to make it. And I want to encourage you all to kindly join us, because Eldoret City is ours. The government is here to facilitate us, but it is ours. We don't expect the government to do anything more than to offer us the platform upon which now we can have things like this. And when the business increases in Eldoret, so do we. So please join us. I also want to thank, and I hope I'm pronouncing it well, Basabra Construction Company from Wajir. This is big. I mean, please give up for Basabra, because Wajir and Eldoret, and now what to Eldoret, please, tusikue na watu ya Wajir wanakuja ku exhibit, na wewe uko hapa au hauko hapo, please. So, and also my good friend, Bwana Hassan Omar, my chairman, Elgon View Association for the residents. Please, we hope to see you there. He has a beautiful facility along River Sosiani. Beautiful facility. So as you are talking, this gentleman has a resort. Please, come and tell us about it during that event. Tusione tu tukienda airport. So also to Bwana Max, thank you. Max has worked with us in the previous event, in this event. Max has also worked with us. Now, there are people I have not mentioned, the influencers. Thank you guys. My TV coverage people. These guys are selfless. They've been with us throughout the day. So we've been getting already pictures going online about this event. So I'm truly depending on you to come. Wacha tujaze hiyo barabara. Let us show the country, because this is a good opportunity. Bwana Dadu, I would like a situation where Nairobi is coming to benchmark this way. That would be nice. And wenda waambie sasa nyinyi na nyinyi ndio city ya kwanza, hii the newest city are the ones showing you the way. So please let us have Bwana Dadu go back with a very good report. We've also requested Bwana Dadu to send a delegation to the PS Hinga, who is very instrumental in the building and construction industry, and hope that through him, maybe we can have the head of state visit that function. So it's a really big event. So please, muna karibishwa kabisa. For the people who I have not mentioned, my heartfelt thanks, please. Ni vile tu wakati sina. Last but not least, Africana restaurant, they've come through. Wangapi walikunywa chai mpaka wakashiba na bado ilikuwa ingine? You get my point. Africana has, I don't know how to say, they have given us, we did not pay for it, they have given us tea and they're giving us lunch. This is a selfless giving, because when we went to them, we said, we do not have a big budget. And we told them what we want to do. And they said, this is their town. And because the effort that we are putting across is for the town, they are going to step up. So, Africana, Mungu awabariki sana. And at that point, I think I want to hand back to Bwana Max to take us to the next stage. And thank you, and God bless you. My name is Nicholas Karira, Chairman, Shangwe Juakali Association. God bless you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Do you feel that the conference is really a success? It's courtesy of the good planning of this guy and the team. Let's appreciate him in a good way. Thank you very much, Bwana Karira and your team. Now allow me to give it in 1 minute, Africana to tell us about themselves, then welcome us for the lunch. Karibu Judy.
Thank you so much. Good evening. I think it's no longer afternoon. It's evening already. Once again, I had done it in the morning. My name is Judith Chepkoech from Africana Restaurant. So kuna space ya lunch. Musiniache chakula hapo tafadhali. Please, my brothers, we have your taste. In Africana, tuko na flavor yetu ya Africa tuki taste the modern taste also. We mix. So we impress all the generation. Kutoka ule mdogo hadi mkubwa. Ukikuja Africana ukiwa na mtoto mdogo, tuko na kiti yake hapo ile ya babies. So mothers, welcome to Africana. In Africana we have 3 branches in town. One at Moiben Plaza, opposite Equity. Tunasemanga Equity ya town, first floor. The other one is Africana downtown. We are opposite Safaricom shop. And we are open 24 hours. Also Africana, the main restaurant, is open for 24 hours. We are also located at opposite, next to 64 Arcade, opposite Best Lady, karibu na sokoni. It's tropical dishes. For those who are in love with nyama choma, that is where we have nyama choma. Our representative from the county government, it's our pleasure to serve you today and the team. And we are looking forward to work with you because we really need each other in this business. I need you, you need me. I need you to eat my food. Nitakulisha yule wa jua kali, tunatumia jiko, tunatumia makaa. All those things are being used there. So for our county, tuna request, to serve to breakfast, lunch, dinner also, if possible, when you have meetings. We can do samples. Nasikia siku hizi lazima ufanye sampling, especially ya chapati. You taste our chapati, you'll never forget it again. So I'll just hand it there. And on Expo, I almost forgot, we'll be serving you, Africana will be serving you all dishes, African dishes, yote, added the Indian food. We also serve Chinese food, chache, but by order. So karibuni hiyo siku sana. We have our skilled chefs. Hakuna kitu jamaa yesi pika. Ile chakula mtakula hapo is in charge. He's also our pastor. As in our team, he's a pastor by calling. So I'll hand the microphone to him for a word of prayer. Atuombe kwa chakula and atuombe for this day. Imekuwa successful, sindio? It has really been helpful to most of us. Mimi hata sikuwa najua ni ya biashara. Nimejulia tu hapa. But we are really happy. So after this, after the prayer, we'll be guided by the MC on how we'll go to the dining hall. Karibuni sana.
Thank you. Let's appreciate Judy. Judy is the supervisor, Africana downtown. We can all rise up for a word of prayer. Then thereafter, I'll guide you on how we are going to serve the lunch. Mchungaji Mupishi, karibu.
Asante. Na tuombe. Baba wetu, katika jina la Yesu Kristo tunakushukuru, tunakuabudu, maana wewe ni Mungu. Tasema Bwana, umekuwa nasi tangia asubuhi katika mkutano huu ambao umekuwa ukiendelea mahala hapa. Na Bwana, tumeona rehema zako, tumeona neema yako. Tasema Bwana, umekuwa nasi, hata umetupa gavana wetu, tumekuwa naye mahala hapa. Na Bwana, tasema tulikuwa tumewaandalia chakula, wamekula breakfast. Na sasa ni wakati ambao tumeandaa lunch ni kwa ajili ya wageni hawa. Baba, tunaomba ya kwamba wanapoenda kuitumia chakula hiki, wacha kikawe ni cha baraka katika miili za kila mmoja, ili Mungu akaweze kupokea afya. Pokea sifa, maana Bwana unaenda kutenda. Tunabariki viongozi wote ambao wamekuwa hapa, pamoja na mkutano ambao unaandaliwa kwa wiki ambayo linakuja. Bwana, tunaomba ukawe pamoja nasi, maana wewe ni Mungu. Pokea utukufu, maana hakuna kama wewe. Na ni katika jina la Yesu Kristo tunaomba tukiamini. Amen. Pigia Yesu makofi. Amen. Karibu.
If you are not careful, you will begin preaching. Naomba tuketi sasa so that we exit the place in order. Na tunaomba tafadhali, make sure you take a meal at Africana. Take a selfie there, post it somewhere, sema Africana iko sawa. All right, this is how we are going to exit this room. We'll be led by the keynote speaker, the Honorable Karisa Dadu, and the team in front here. All right, I'm guided that they'll be served from this point. Really? All right, yeah, kindly, yeah, Basabra Limited, asante sana for coming. We have ELDORET Plus, I must mention you as well. A master sound master production, thank you very much. The very best production in town. NICTEC photography. NICTEC photography, by the way, now being a festive season, you need to engage them for photography, videography during your events. Make sure you engage them for the very best. So our keynote speaker, are you comfortable to either serve yourself or you want to be served? In your own pleasure. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. So you will lead us together with the team in front here, together with the directors. Kindly, you will join the keynote speaker. Chairman, Jokali, you will join him. Together with Mr. Kiambati, if you are in here, kindly you will join that team. Very well. Our directors, kindly join them. Very well. We have the committee led by the chair, Mr. Kombai. Kindly, you will proceed to join that as well. Very well. You know, you see people are hesitating because the keynote speaker has not left yet. We have Dr. Kindly, Daktari, our lecturer from university, Karibu Sana, join that team. We also have Diana from KCB. Very well. Then followed by Bank of Africa. Very well. Thank you very much. Bank of Africa, you're welcome. We have, which other team, Sonia? Very well. Oh, the Law Society, tafadhali, join that team as well. The Law Society of Kenya. Very well. And now, Sonia, I need your guidance also. Bas. I think now that the wale wazito wameenda, sisi sasa watu wa Jokali tuingie sasa tuanguke nayo. Tuanguke nayo sasa. Asante sana. My name is MC Max. Find me on my social media platforms, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you abundantly. You are welcome for the first edition of Jenga Expo 2024, 3rd of December to the 6th of December. Thank you. God bless you.